Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto has harem with Hinata, Ino and Hana. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Maverick9871 and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1. I don't know Naruto. A 25-year-old Naruto was sitting by a campfire looking at the flames thinking about the past. Ino walked up beside him and took his hand as she sat down and said, "So it's finally over." Naruto sighed and said yes, but was it worth it? Ino said, "You better than anyone knows that answer. Konoha and Suna are destroyed. All of our friends are dead. And the cause of it all has finally been stopped." Naruto looked at her and said, "At least I still have you." Ino leaned forward and kissed him softly on the lips. After they broke apart, Naruto sighed and said, "At least we stopped Akatsuki from getting all of the tail demons." Ino said sadly, "Yeah, they got all of them but Kyubi." Kyubi, who was listening to them, said, "Actually they did not get all of them but me." Naruto looked confused and Ino asked, "What's wrong?" Naruto said, "Kyubi just said that they did not get all of them beside him." Ino said, "But I thought that you were the last unfree." Kyubi said the two-tailed cat they trapped was actually not Nibi but her sister Sibi. Naruto said, "So what do you mean, Fox?" Kyubi said, "Simple kit, I am telling you that the two-tail that they caught was not Nibi, and because of this I think I can make a deal with you." Naruto said, "What does that have to do with anything, and what do you have that I would want anyways?" Ino tapped Naruto on the shoulder to get his attention and said, "What's Kyubi saying?" Naruto said, "Kyubi is not making any sense. He said the two-tailed cat they caught was actually Nibi's sister Sibi, and he has some kind of deal." Ino, getting tired of being a loose wheel in the conversation, used her Shintenshin no Jutsu on Naruto and entered his mind. She walked up to where the Kyubi was held and saw Naruto standing there. Ino said, "What kind of deal?" Kyubi, getting tired of being ignored, said, "The kind of damn deal that lets you save you stupid friends and that damn village." Before he started panting. After he calmed down, he said, "The reason I know Nibi is still alive because I put her in a special dimension after she nearly died from an attack by Hachibi the 8-headed snake. I was her mate, and he attacked her to get to me." Ino said, "So what is this deal that you are talking about?" Kyubi sat still for a moment looking at Ino and said, "What would you be willing to do to save your friends and village?" Before Ino could say anything, Kyubi said, "Would you still be with the kid here even if all of your friends and possibly your parents left you and the villagers hated you?" Ino said, "Yeah, but I don't see what that has to do with anything." Naruto said, "Kyubi, I don't know what is going on here, but I don't like where this is going." Kyubi said, "Same for you, kid. Would you really be willing to become what all those idiots in that village called you?" Naruto said, "You mean a demon? I don't understand." Kyubi said, "To make it simple, I will die when you die. Period. We already know this. What you don't know is that my mate will be forever trapped in the dimension I put her in, forever asleep. I don't want that for her, so I am willing to make a deal with you both. I am willing to send you back to the day you became Genin. However, you will have all of your memories and knowledge, but your strength is a different story. Your bodies will change, and you will change and become stronger. To do this, you both will have to become demons and merge with the one you are replacing. For you, Kit, you will be the new Kyubi. I will cease to exist. For Ino, she will become the new Nibi as she will cease to exist. Me and her will die and be together in the afterlife. You two will live on forever or until you are killed or do what I am proposing." Naruto said, "If we become demon, the people of our village will run us out before we even have a chance to explain." Kyubi said, "No, they won't. You see, when we merge, you will get all of our memories, and all demons know how to change their looks, so you both will know how to shape-shift to keep people from seeing. And the best part is, until you actually release it, people will see what you wanted to see." Ino said, "Is there any drawbacks beside becoming an actual demon that we should know about?" Kyubi said, "Besides you both becoming the summon bosses of foxes and cats, not really. The kid will be the boss of all demons, so he will have to deal with a few problems with them. You both will have a mating season though." Ino blushed and said, "What's that supposed to mean, exactly?" Kyubi laughed and said, "It's simple actually. Once a year you will enter a time where you are in heat, and is the only time you can actually become with a litter of kits. During this time, Naruto will be able to tell by the pheromones you release and become aroused. However, you have final say at that time, but it will be hard to resist for either of you." Naruto said, "Will the kids be human or demon?" Kyubi said, "It would be a demon, but its appearance will be human. It won't start getting its demon's looks until it reaches puberty, in which time you have to teach it the shape-shifting skills." Naruto sighed and said, "Can you give us a little time to talk before we make a decision in private?" Kyubi said, "Sure, kid, I will give you an hour while I get everything ready." Ino released her jutsu, and they both came out of their dazes. Naruto said, "So what do you think?" Ino said, "Well, I think we should look at pros versus cons. We can go back in time and change stuff to save our village and friends." Naruto said, "I know I will be hated, but if you are around me or they find out the truth, you might be." Ino said, "We can stop Sound and Akatsuki." Naruto said. Ino, are you sure about this? I mean, I know we have been together for almost a year now, but you remember what life was like back then. You were a fangirl and I was a loud idiot. Ino said. Naruto, I was a fangirl and treated everyone bad back then. Hell, I lost my best friend over it, but now that I got to know the real you and not the idiot who hid behind a mask, I say I could live all my life happily by your side. Naruto gave her a hug, a passionate kiss. After they broke apart, Naruto said. Ino, I know this is stupid, but I want to do this before the changes. Ino, would you, when we get old enough, age and marry me? Ino squealed and tackled Naruto and said I would love to. Naruto, as she kissed him, and they rolled around on the ground for a few minutes. After they broke apart from kissing, Naruto said, I think we should go see the fox and say our goodbye. Ino performed her jutsu Aegean and came in front of the cage of Kyubi and said, okay fox, we got a deal, what do we do? Kyubi said, I just need for you and the kid here to cut both or your hands and let the blood between you mix as you hold hands. I will channel the chakra into both of you and have Nibi's spirit merge with yours, kitten. It will be painful, but you must keep holding hands until you pass out. When you wake up, you both will be in your new demon bodies on the day you became genins. Remember this. You won't be able to go back again, so make sure you like what changes you make and have a happy life. Ino released the jutsu, and then she pulled out a kunai and cut both of her hands. Naruto did the same, but this time Kyubi did not start healing it. They put their hands together with the fingers intertwined, and red and yellow chakra mixed with blue started forming around the hands. Ino was the first to start screaming but continued to hold on. A moment later, Naruto also started screaming as the pain hit him also. They screamed until they could not breathe any longer and passed out, still holding hands. Chapter 2. Naruto awoke on a somewhat soft mattress. He looked around his surroundings and found himself in his old apartment. He had not lived here since Konoha was destroyed 7 years ago. Naruto sighed and tried to enter his mind. As he did, he found the cage where Kyubi once was empty. Naruto left his mind and got out of bed. He noticed that he was shorter than he used to be, but not as short as he was as a kid. He now was 5 feet 9 inches. When he was a kid, he was 5 feet 3 inches and was shorter than everyone else. As he got older, he became 6 feet 2 inches. He also noticed that all of his baby fat was gone, and lean muscles were in its place. Naruto went to the bathroom and looked in the mirror. He could see his fangs were a little longer, with his nails also becoming sharper. His hair had red tips in the end of it, and he had tails. Wait a minute, tails 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tails. Naruto sighed and started his normal morning activities. After taking a shower, he stood in front of the mirror, and after a minute he had a memory of how to shape-shift enter his mind and quickly did it. His tails disappeared. His nails and fangs retracted, but he kept the red tips on his hair. He also noticed his eyes were slitted and he had a tattoo of a ring on his left ring finger. Deciding to leave them, he went to his room and looked for something to wear. After finding that he only had his orange jumpsuit, he put it on and was about to leave when an idea popped in his head. He quickly ran to the bathroom and tried to change his clothes like he did his body. They quickly changed from his orange jumpsuit to a black shirt and black ninja pants with his spiral on the back in red. Naruto only had one thought when he saw the change. Cool. Naruto left his apartment after locking it and started his way toward the school. He saw people staring at him, but he ignored it, just glad everyone was still alive. He thought about going to see Ino and make sure she was okay, but did not want to cause a problem with her parents yet. He quickly made it to school. As he got there, he noticed what would become the Rookie 9. Shikamaru said, "What are you doing here, Naruto? This is only for people who passed." Naruto said, "I know, look at the head and figure it, genius." As he walked to the back of the class and sat down away from everyone. As Naruto sat down, Akamaru started barking and Kiba said, "What are you talking about?" Akamaru barked some more and Kiba started sniffing the air and said, "You're right. He does smell like a fox, even more than usual, and what's up with him being taller?" Naruto sighed and said, "It's called puberty, dog boy, and as for me smelling like foxes, I guess I have a natural scent of it." Kiba started to say something when two girls came barreling through the door. Sakura said, "I win, Ino, Sasuke is mine." Naruto looked down and hit his head against his desk. "So she did not make it. I guess it was all for nothing and I am all alone, Aegean." Sigh. Ino said, "Is that why you tried to catch me this morning? I thought you just wanted to race." As she walked into the classroom and up the stairs. Sakura thought she was trying to get Sasuke and jumped in the seat by him like an idiot because Ino just kept walking right on by. Everyone was thinking, what's going on? Naruto looked up as Ino said that to Sakura and began hoping, and as she drew nearer he held his breath. Ino stopped in front of Naruto and smiled and said, "Nibi said hello?" Naruto stood up and gave Ino a hug as he swung her around in a circle. Finally setting her back down, she smiled and said, "I take it you remember," as she waved her left hand in front of her face. Naruto smiled and said, "Yeah," before slipping back on his face of an idiot. Ino saw him do it, and said no mask as she grabbed him and pulled him into a passionate kiss as he wrapped his arms around her back and hers around his neck. Silence except for the sound of purring somewhere in the room. The entire room was sweat-dropping at the scene. Hinata fainted. Even poor Irika who walked in was sweat-dropping. Finally they broke apart, and Sakura stormed up to the top of the class and said, "What the hell are you doing, I know pig?" Ino looked at her and said, "Cat actually, but mind your own business, go deal with the bastard." Sakura started to say something but an ABNU appeared in a dragon mask and said sorry to interrupt but the Hokage has decided he needs to change the team setup and would like the list. Also he would like to see Naruto and Ino about some prank he pulled. Naruto and Ino both stepped toward him as Irika handed the ABNU the team lists. As the ABNU put his hands on both of them they disappeared in a swirl of leaves. The three appeared in the Hokage's office and Naruto said thanks for the lift Yamato. The Hokage and the ABNU both stiffened at the name Naruto said and the ABNU said why did you call me that? Naruto said simple as I am sure the three in a genjutsu over in the corner of the room are wondering as well. You are the only survivor of Orochimaru test which he implanted the Shodaime Hokage DNA into, and you have the ability to restrain demons and the element of wood. The third said Naruto, how do you know this? Naruto sighed and said it's a long story and I am sure Kakashi, Asuma and Kurenai are all going to get tired by the end of it so we might as well get comfortable. The genjutsu in the corner dropped and all three of them stepped forward and the third said okay Naruto. Why don't you start, and why do I get the feeling Ino is involved somehow? Ino said because you are right. Naruto you take too long to explain so I will just give them the rundown. Basically Naruto and I made a deal after a bunch of shit happened and we were sent back to today to try and change what is going to happen. The third said that is an interesting idea but I don't suppose you have any proof. Naruto said I got proof but you have to agree what you see or hear does not leave this office, especially the council. The third said I don't see a problem with that. Naruto said the price for us making this deal is simple. Ino drop it. As he dropped his shape shift and suddenly the fangs in his mouth grew, his nails became longer and 9 tails shot out of his back. Ino was almost the same but instead on 9 tails she had 2. Everyone in the room tensed but after a few minutes the third said what exactly just happened and how come Ino change? I can understand you Naruto but not her. Naruto said basically what happened is the leaf was destroyed. Ino and I were probably the last 2 leaf to live. Tsunade Bakun, Erosan and Mom, Shino, Kiba, Sakura, Hinata, Niji, Lee, Tenten, Inari, Rin, Gaara, Temari, Kenkuro, Tazana, Tsunami, Brianna, all died along with all of you over the next 13 years. The third said Naruto, I'm curious, why did you not add Sasuke into the list you said died? Ino said as she had her tail playing with Naruto's that bastard should be killed for what he done. It's his fault most of our friends died, him, that snake freak and Akatsuki. Naruto said Ino calm down please. Ino sighed and crossed her arms and Naruto said so what do you want know? The third said so you mind telling me why you both look like that? Naruto said basically the only way for us to do this and get a second chance was for Kyuubi and Nibi to die and in the process be replaced. I don't know all the details except the Kyuubi that attacked the leaf is now dead. I am the new Kyuubi. Kyuubi's mate Nibi who is not the same one in our dimension is dead and Ino is the new Nibi. Kakashi said Naruto, why would you do that and what happened to the Kyuubi from now? Naruto said call it family tradition, putting the needs of others before our own. As for the Kyuubi from now, gone the seal is empty. Everyone looked at him weird except the third and he said so I take it you know who your dad was then. Naruto said yeah, Mom told me who he was, who both my grandparents are and why they are not here right now before she died. If you were not dead I would have decked you at that moment old man but you died by pulling the same stunt dad did except it was agents the snake bastard and was in vain. Kakashi said Naruto, if you don't mind me asking, who are your parents? Naruto sighed and looked at the third and the third said it's your choice. Naruto said I am the son of Arisha Kazama and Shizen Kazama, my grandparents are Tsunade and Jiraiya. Basically I am the descendant of the Shodaime, Nidaime, Yodiame, and Godiame Hokage. Kakashi looked at the third and said you told me he died during the attack. How could you not tell me I am his godfather? Kakashi was interrupted by Naruto and said relax Kakashi-sensei, he told Mom and both my grandparents the same thing. They only found out after I had to have major surgery after 3 Chidoras hit me, and they needed a blood donor. Kakashi stopped and asked who hit you with a Chidori and why. Naruto sighed and said I have been hit with that damn jutsu more times than I can count thanks to the bastard Sasuke before and after the snake took over. Yamato said Naruto, I got a question if you don't mind. Are you both half or full now? Naruto said full, that was the price. The third said I am curious about something Naruto. You said you are a descendant of the Godiame Hokage. Who is that going to be? Naruto said Tsunade will become the Godiame after I convince her to change her opinion of Konoha. The third said how did you convince her? I have been trying for a few years now. Naruto said, well, after you died, me and Ero-san and went to look for her, and I have the opposite luck of her. I completed the first 2 steps in 3 weeks and mastered the 3rd step of Rasengan in a week, which caused me to win a bet. Kakashi said, you know the Rasengan? Can I see it? Naruto said, can it wait until we are in the open, because I don't know how well this new body's control is yet, so I don't want to blow up this office. Kakashi nodded. The third sighed and said, so what do you both have planned? Ino said, we know about the major stuff that is going to happen, the war, Sasuke defection, Akatsuki. Asuma said, several times now you have mentioned Akatsuki. Who are they? Naruto sighed as he rubbed his eyes and said, the worst enemy you could ever face. Between Suna and us we lost 2/3 of our villages to those bastards before we stopped them. The cost was too much. They failed to get the last piece they needed to win. Me. Kurenai said, what is it they wanted with you, and why could they not get it if they were so tough? Ino said, Naruto went from Genin to Sannin level before they could capture him and take Kyuubi from him like they did the other 8-tailed beast, including Nibi's sister Sibi, who is in a vessel now. The third said, what are they planning on doing with them, Naruto? Naruto said, originally they wanted to release a 10-tailed demon that was sealed by the other 9 ages ago. After the timeline passed and they could not take Kyuubi, they started using the demons as puppets and used them to attack different villages. They each were sealed into a ring that each of the members carried. Kakashi asked, do you know who they are? Naruto looked at Ino and Ino said, Itachi Uchiha of the Leaf, Kisame Hashigaki of the Mist, Deidara of the Rock, Zetsu of the Grass, Haiden of the Rain, Kakuzu of the Waterfall, Tobi, Sasori of the Red Sand of Suna. Orochimaru was once a member and still has his ring, the leader, and also some other guy we never got any data on. Asuma dropped his cigarette as Yamato said, you just named of most of the top 20 people in the bingo book. Naruto said, I know, and they are all pain in the asses. Anyways, what are you planning now, old man? Don't forget that you still got the rest of the rookie 9 waiting in class for team placements. The third sighed and said, I am going to have to talk to you both later, but for now I think I should change the lineup. Any preference? Naruto said, only request I have is let me still be with Sasuke. That way when the snake bastard comes I can try and kill him and maybe stop the war. Ino said, if you are doing request, I would like to be put on Naruto team also, only for the fact that Choji until the retrieval mission only eats, and Shikamaru, who became a Chunin, took being a ninja serious after almost losing everyone on the retrieval mission, and took up smoking after Sensei died, left his unborn child. Looking at Kurenai and Asuma with a smirk. The third said, I agree, Naruto has to be with Sasuke, but I don't want to change teams since it means more paperwork and also might change too much. Naruto started changing back into his new human form, and Ino did the same. The third said, I guess you should head back to class and keep everything a secret as best as you can. Yamato, please take them back, and if anyone asks, tell them they wanted to know if we knew anything about the flowers with ping bombs that hit the Hokage's office. Yamato placed his hands on both and all 3 disappeared. The third looked at the 3 who were still in his office and said, what do you think? Kurenai, still blushing from the baby crack, said, I think they were telling the truth. The third said, so do I just don't know what to do about it. They did not seem to want to tell too much about the future. They mentioned a war but never said when or with who. They mentioned about Sasuke and Orochimaru but not what, and they mentioned about all of us dying and the leaf being destroyed but not when or where. Kakashi said, I just wonder if both of them realize what they put themselves in for. How do you think Ino's parents are going to react? The third said, I want a little more detail from them, so I have a plan. I want you to bring both them here after team meeting, and I will have Inoichi here also. That is all dismissed. Naruto and Ino both appeared with the ABNU as the class was all sitting and talking but stopped when they got there. Naruto said, man, I can't believe they thought it was me and you who pulled that prank in the Hokage's office. Ino said, I know. Just because someone delivered flowers to his office and put paint bombs in it, they think that it was you, and since my family is the only flower shop in town I had to be involved. Yamato handed the list back to Iruka, trying not to laugh, and left before he did. Iruka sighed and said, okay class, sorry about the wait. Team 1 is Team 7 is Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke. Sakura started cheering while Naruto looked back to Ino and smiled a sad smile. Iruka sighed and said Team 8 is Kiba, Shino, and Hinata. Team 9 is still in service, so Team 10 is Ino, Choji, and Shikamaru. Your instructors should be here shortly. And with that he left. Naruto got up and sat down on the windowsill. Ino got up and headed over to Naruto, only to be stopped by Sakura, who said, so Ino, you and the idiot a couple now. I guess my charm has finally proven that Sasuke is mine. Ino looked at Sakura and said, Sakura, we're not kids anymore. Grow up and open your eyes. The world does not evolve around Sasuke, and as for Naruto, if you have not figured it out, I am not telling you. And with that she walked to Naruto and sat with her back against his chest as they both looked out the window, and a mysterious purring sound started Aegean. Naruto chuckled a little and said in a whisper, if I did not know better, I swear that with the purring you are doing you were happy. Ino smiled and said I am. Naruto said well at least this cat is better than Tora. Ino looked at him and said now that is a true demon cat there. Kiba said man what is going on today? First Naruto looks different and smells of foxes. Now Ino looks a little different and smells of cats. Sakura could not believe what she was hearing. Sasuke smirked at this and walked over to Naruto and said hey Ino, why you hanging out with a dobe when you could walk home with me today? Ino looked from the window at Sasuke and said why would I want that? You got nothing to offer me. Sasuke became pissed and drew his arm back to punch Ino but his punch was stopped by Naruto's hand and he said Sasuke, sometimes I can't figure you out. You can have almost any woman you want but when one decides she does not want you, you become jealous and decide to try and take the person away from who she is with. I know your clan was nothing but jutsu thieves but come on. Do you really have to be a woman stealer also? Sasuke became enraged and said what do you know idiot about my clan? Naruto sighed and said beside the fact that you have a bloodline that steal most jutsu, was once the police for of this city, killed by your brother Itachi with the final level of the Sharingan after he killed his best friend and made you watch it over and over again with the genjutsu from the Sharingan, almost nothing. Sasuke tried to kick Naruto who was still sitting up against him when Naruto used replacement on both of them and Sasuke hit a desk that was in their place now. Suddenly the door opened to the class and Asuma and Kurenai came in. Team 10 and 8 come with us Kurenai said. Ino started moving to the door but Naruto grabbed her hand and said meet me at the memorial stone later. Ino nodded before leaving. Sasuke hated to admit it but he hurt his leg on the desk he kicked so he sat down and acted like the broody bastard he is. Sakura sat down next to him and Naruto decided to get some training done to test his body. He walked to the wall in front of the class and put his hands in the ram sign before starting to climb the wall. Once he made it up the wall he went to the ceiling and started walking upside down on it. Sakura was amazed and Sasuke was pissed because he did not know how to do it. Sakura wanted to try it but did not want to ruin the moment she had with Sasuke. An hour later Sasuke and Sakura were still sitting and Naruto was doing push-ups on the ceiling. Sakura finally got bored and said so Naruto, how long have you and Ino been together? Naruto still doing push-ups said somewhere between a day and a lifetime depending on how you look at it. Sakura said you don't make any sense. Anyways what are you doing up on the ceiling anyways? Naruto said well, this is a standard Genin chakra control exercise called tree climbing but instead of doing it with just the feet I try and do it to the whole body. Better for you. Sakura said so how do you do it? Naruto smirked and said well it's simple actually. Anyone who passes the Genin test can go to the library or ask any ninja how. All you have to do is channel chakra to your feet and start climbing. Too much and you blow off, too little and you fall off. But before you try it Sakura answer me a question. Sakura said okay sure. Naruto flipped in mid-air and landed on his feet on the ground below before walking to Sakura and saying, you know that you have almost perfect chakra control right? Sakura nodded and Naruto said do you know why you do? Sakura thought for a moment and said actually I don't. Do you? Naruto said yeah, I learned this when I was taught this so don't be mad at me okay? Almost all female ninja have great chakra control because they have smaller reserves than male ninja that's why most females are genjutsu or medic type ninja. Male ninja have more chakra but less control and have to work harder that's why they are more ninjutsu type ninja. Do not think I am saying women are weak or anything. Let's take Tsunade for example. She is a famous medic nin but she also is the strongest person in the world because she worked on her weakness of low chakra and made it big enough to use in battle or save lives. Sakura though about what he said and asked so you're saying that I have to work on my weakness of low chakra. How do I do that? Kakashi appeared at the door and said actually, Blondie was showing you how to do it. Every time you work on chakra control exercises like tree climbing your reserves get a little bigger. The more you work the more you have and the harder you control gets so you have to work even more to keep it at the level you're at. But you can figure that out later. Team 7, meet me on the roof, and with that he left. A few minutes later Team 7 was sitting in front of Kakashi, and he said okay how about introductions, likes dislikes, dreams for the future. Sakura said why don't you go first to show us how it's done. Kakashi sighed and said my name is Kakashi, my dislikes are none of your business. My likes are not for children, and my dream is to meet Rin Aegeon and have my favorite book collection signed by the author. Naruto smacked his hand against his head. Kakashi looked amused and said okay head trimmer, you first. Naruto sighed and said my name is Naruto Uzumaki and he mouthed Kazama my likes are my friends, Ino, ramen, and certain grandfatherly books. Looks at Kakashi, my dislikes are traitors, thieves, stuck-up snobs who think they are better because they were born from clans. My dreams for the future is making the leaf a better place, removing all cursed seals like the caged bird and heaven/earth seals, protecting the leaf with my life and someday starting a family, or maybe finding mine if they are still alive. Also I might help a certain pervert meet his 15-year-old daughter. Looking at Kakashi. Kakashi was thinking, is he talking about me? Do I have a daughter? I will find out. Okay, Pinky, you next. Sakura said, my name is Sakura. I like looks at Sasuke, my dislike are, actually I don't know now. My dreams of the future are looks at Sasuke and squeals. Kakashi said, okay, stop right there. Sakura, why do you want to be a ninja? Sakura looked at him and said, I want to do it so I can show I am perfect for someone. Looks at Sasuke. Kakashi sighed and said, I am going to tell you what my sensei told my female teammate. Grow up and quit thinking about some boy you want to impress. If you want to be a ninja, be a ninja. If you want to be a fangirl, hand me your headband now and go home now. Sakura said, but. Kakashi said, no buts. Listen, if you are so preoccupied with being a fangirl you won't be able to help save your teammate's life. Take care of this problem now or I will remove you from Team 7. Now Mr. Broody, your turn. Sasuke smirked and said, my name is Sasuke Uchiha. I don't have any likes or dislikes. I don't have a dream, just an ambition to kill someone and restore my clan. Kakashi sighed and said, same goes for you, Mr. Broody. I know you want to kill your brother, but to do it you are going to have to work on it. If you think you are going to get special treatment, then you are wrong. I will treat you the same as Naruto or Sakura if you all pass my test tomorrow. Meet me at the Memorial Stone tomorrow at 5 a.m. and don't eat or you will puke. Naruto. The Hokage wants to see you again about itching powder in the A, B, and U uniforms. Naruto sighed and said, when I find this prankster I will show him who the king of pranks is. And with that both Kakashi and Naruto disappeared. Sakura started to chase after Sasuke but stopped when she remembered what Kakashi said. What did I really become a ninja for? And with that she walked home. Sasuke left to try and learn tree climbing. He was not going to let the dope outdo him. When Kakashi and Naruto arrived, Ino, her mom, Inoichi, Asuma, Kurenai and the third was already there. The third said, Kakashi, I swear, you are going to be late for your own funeral. Anyways, the reason I brought you back here is because I need more info on what you said earlier and some proof. I want Inoichi here to enter one of your minds and let his see what you claim. Do you agree? Naruto sighed and said, fine, I agree, but I request Ino goes in with him since she been there before and knows her way around. My mind is like a maze and is easy to get lost in. Inoichi said, Ino, I don't understand what's going on, but we are going to talk after this about entering people's minds. Naruto said, Inoichi, sir, I think you should wait until you see what the Hokage and I am referring to before you jump to conclusion. I guess I am as ready as I can be. As he sat down in a chair. Ino and her dad both sat across from him before doing the jutsu and reappeared in front of the empty cage of Kyuubi. Inoichi started looking around and Naruto appeared in his tailed form. Naruto said, oh, I see you already made it. Well, this is where Kyuubi once lived. Inoichi looked at Naruto and said, what do you mean once lived and what are you doing here? It should be impossible for you to be here when we do this jutsu, and what is with the tails? Naruto said, anytime anyone enters my mind I am automatically pulled in as a safety device to protect the seal when Kyuubi was here. As for where he is now, the Kyuubi that attacked our village is dead now. As for the tails, it was sort of the price me and Ino had to do what we did. Ino sighed as she changed into her two-tailed form and said, this way, Dad. I guess the best place to start would be the sand/sound war. Don't you agree, Naruto? Inoichi saw his daughter change and said, what are you talking about, sand/sound war? There is not even a sound village as far as I am aware of in Ino. Why do you have tails now? Ino said, in order for this to happen we both had to replace the demons that died. Naruto became the new Kyuubi and I became the new Nibi. I am still me, but it was the price to save our homes, friends and family. Ino led the group down into the maze of Naruto's mind until they came to his memories. They showed him about Orochimaru, Sasuke and the Shikaku. Inoichi said, how is this possible? Naruto said, it possible because Ino and I both came back from about 13 years in the future to try and change the past for us. Inoichi said, how? Naruto said, I guess I can either show the last few minutes before we came back or just explain it. Your choice. Inoichi said, show me please. Naruto sighed and led them to his last set of memories. Naruto was standing in front of a white door and a gold door was next to it. Naruto said this should be the door since it was a little good. Inoichi looked at the white door Naruto was pointing to and said, do you mind if I look at that memory first? I have never seen a gold door before. Pointing to the gold door. Naruto said, sure. Ino looked and turned pale and said, Naruto, I don't think that's a good idea. I think I know what's behind that door and I don't want that known right now. Inoichi said, Ino, I don't know what you are hiding, but I am definitely looking now. And so he went and opened the door. Inoichi saw. Ino released her jutsu and they both came out of their dazes. Naruto said, so what do you think? Ino said, well, I think we should look at pros versus cons. We can go back in time and change stuff to save our village and friends. Naruto said, I know I will be hated, but if you are around me or they find out the truth you might be. Ino said, we can stop Sound and Akatsuki. Naruto said, Ino, are you sure about this? I mean, I know we have been together for almost a year now, but you remember what life was like back then. You were a fangirl and I was a loud idiot. Ino said. Naruto, I was a fangirl and treated everyone bad back then. Hell, I lost my best friend over it, but now that I got to know the real you and not the idiot who hid behind a mask, I say I could live all my life happily by your side. Naruto gave her a hug, a passionate kiss. After they broke apart, Naruto said, Ino, I know this is stupid, but I want to do this before the changes. Ino, would you, when we get old enough, age, and marry me? Ino squealed and tackled Naruto and said I would love to, Naruto. As she kissed him and they rolled around on the ground for a few minutes. After they broke apart from kissing, Naruto said, I think we should go see the fox and say our goodbye. Inoichi looked at the two kids bang him and said, oh boy. I think I need a drink. I've seen enough, let's go back. And with that they all left Naruto's mind. Inoichi sighed as he looked at Naruto and Ino. The third said, so, what did you see? Inoichi said, more than any father wanted to of his daughter, but if what I saw is a sample of what's to come, we need all the help we can get. Do they know about the changes? Naruto said, yeah. They already know about our demon status. If you want to blame anyone, blame me. I hope you won't hate Ino for it. She still is the same person. Inoichi said, I suppose I can live with it, but I do have one question. Are you both still planning on that last memory? As he reached for his kunai holster. Naruto started sweating and yeah, if she will still have me, that is. Ino stepped in front of her dad and said, leave my fiancé alone, dad. Inoichi sighed and said, I don't even get to scare him to take care of my little girl. Damn it. Where is the fun of having a son-in-law if you can't scare the hell out of him? The third chuckled and said, so I take it the Kazama clan will be returning to the Leaf sooner than I, though, huh? Inoichi looked at the third and said, Kazama clan? I thought Erasure was the no, you don't mean to tell me. Naruto stood up and said, let me properly introduce myself, sir. Naruto Uzumaki Kazama. Son of Erasure and Shizen Kazama. Grandson of Tsunade and Jiraiya of the legendary three. Inoichi looked at Naruto and said as he looked to the third, is he messing with me? The third sighed and said, no, he is telling the truth about everything. But the ones from now don't know Naruto is related to them because I told them after the sealing that he Erashure's son died to protect him from his father's enemies. By the time word spread about the sealing, I could not risk telling the truth of his lineage. Inoichi laughed and said, you know Tsunade and Shizen will probably kill you, right? Ino's mom said, I don't think bad about Naruto, but does Ino know about that? Ino said, Mom, I guess I better go ahead and show you so don't freak out. Naruto, would you do it too? Naruto nodded and both transformed again into theater-tailed forms. Ino mom gasped and said, Ino dear, what happened? Ino said the only way for us to come back in time like we did was for us to replace Kyubi and Nibi. Ino's mom said, I know who Kyubi is, but who is Nibi? Ino said, Nibi is the two-tailed cat demon. I am the new Nibi. Naruto became the new Kyubi, and the old ones are in the afterlife forever. Inoichi said, so exactly what does it mean for you both now? Naruto said, basically we can't die from old age. Our bodies are stronger, have more chakra, better senses, and I become the king over all demons, and God became the summon boss for the foxes. Ino became the boss of the cats. The third said, so let me get this straight. You both are the boss summons and can be called by anyone who signs correct. Naruto said, that is what was explained to us. The third thought for a moment, and said, this is a very interesting turn of events. Have you already talked to your summons about it? Naruto said, not yet. We only arrived today because it was the easiest spot to start from. Especially with the snake bastard spies here in the village. The third nodded and said, I would like to request that you keep the summoning a secret with anyone except those you trust with the truth. Naruto nodded and said, I request that no one mentions about Ino period because with that group coming after me I don't want them to actually get their hands on her instead of Sibi. Inoichi said, what are you talking about now, if you don't mind me asking? Naruto said, 9 S-class criminals that want to rule the world and wind up destroying most of it by using the power of demons they are capturing. It's common knowledge I had Kyubi. It's not known about Ino. Kakashi let a perverted giggle and said, so when's the wedding? Naruto said, we will have to set a date later. God, I will be glad when Rin and Brianna get her. Ino snickered and said, me too. Poor copycat Kakashi can't be late, or read his books, or else his daughter uses the 1,000 years of death on him with a kunai. Kakashi quickly put his book away and said, spill it. Where are they and why have I not met my daughter? Naruto sighed and said, all I can tell you is that they will meet you when we start a new village called Seedling in Wave Country a few years from now. As for why you don't meet them, Rin has a disease right now that has weakened her, and your daughter can't leave her side. Sakura will cure her later in life. As for not sending you a letter or asking for help, she is just too damn proud to let you see her like she is now. Sorry. Speaking of Wave, a mission with a client named Tizana is coming up. I request that mission, sir. It's a C-rank turn A. I might be able to get us 2 good ninja if you would grant them a pardon. The third said, really? Who might these ninja be and how good are they? Naruto said, Momochi Zabuza and his apprentice Haku. Haku has a bloodline to control ice and is skilled in the use of acupuncture and medicine, and Zabuza was set up sir for his crime agent's mist. Kisame killed the Mizukage son, so the Mizukage ordered the death of all 7 of the Mist Swordsmen. Zabuza attacked the Mizukage after he ordered their deaths. The third thought for a moment, and said, if you can get them I will grant it as long as they do not permanently hurt or kill any of our ninjas. Naruto smiled and said, thanks old man. The third sighed and said, it's getting late, and I need to rest and think. Dismissed. Ino walked over and kissed Naruto and whispered, I love you. Naruto smiled and whispered, I love you also. Everyone started to leave and Inoichi walked over to Naruto and said, if you hurt her I will kill you. Ino Chapter 3. The next day Naruto got to his team training ground at 5 a.m. like Kakashi said, but he did eat this time. When he got there he noticed Sakura sitting there, but she had dark rings under her eyes like she was up all night. Naruto walked over and said hi. Sakura looked up at him and sat in peace for a few minutes. Finally Sakura said, Naruto, why did you want to become a ninja in the first place? Naruto sat there for a moment, and said, I have not had the best of lives here because I have not known my parents like most people and had to learn by myself what life is really like. I have seen the best of the world and the worst. I wanted to be a ninja so that others won't have to live through what I did. My dream is to protect what is truly precious. Tell me, Sakura. Do you know what it is to be truly strong? Sakura said, you mean to be able to break boulders, trees and stuff like that with your hands? Then yes. Why? Naruto sighed and said, no Sakura, that's not what I meant. In every other country but ours they believe ninjas are nothing but tools. Here we have a different outlook in that point. We believe that ninja are as important as anyone else, and they are precious to each of us. Someone once summed it up to me as a simple sentence that I have taken to heart: you can only become truly strong when you are protecting what is most precious to you. When you are doing that, you will find a way to do what must be done so that even if you die, those that you left behind will be able to continue on for you, because even if you are alone on a battlefield, your precious person or place is still there. Those here today and the ones from tomorrow. Sakura looked at Naruto like he had a second head and was awed by his speech. She sat there quietly for a few minutes and said, I think you have just helped me solve what I want to be a ninja for, thank you. Naruto said, I hope so, and I hope you always remember that saying, because someday you may have to put the needs of those of the village before the needs of yourself. Remember that we are a team now, no matter what happens elsewhere, but we are also ninja of the Hidden Leaf and we must work together to ensure our village has a future. Sakura said, so when did you become so wise? Naruto said, I have always been wise, it's book smarts I have been stupid with. You cannot really judge a ninja by book knowledge, because if your enemy has read the same thing as you, then they will know how to defeat you. You remember my prank on the monument? Sakura shook her head and Naruto said, I did that for training. Sakura asked, training? Naruto said, how hard do you think it is to get by security, paint something in clear view, then escape and lead 4 ABNU and 8 Chunin around the village for 3 hours in a wild chase? Sakura thought for a moment and said, I still don't see how that is training. Naruto said, that's what I was talking about earlier. You are the biggest book smart of our class, but I am not picking on you. What I mean is training is stealth, speed, stamina, chakra control, infiltration and trap skills. I worked on stamina, speed and chakra control, outrunning the people chasing me, in stealth, trap skills, and infiltration with my actual pranks. Sakura thought for a minute and said, I can actually see that working. Why are you telling me this? Naruto thought for a moment and said, we are teammates now, and we have to work together and support each other. I am strong, you are smart, and Sasuke is a combo of both, but no one of us can hope to defeat a stronger person if we don't work together and support each other. Also, I think that you and Ino should try and work out your friendship. Sasuke showed up and looked like he had no sleep and sat down against a log. Naruto decided to try his chakra control, so he got up and said, Sakura, Sasuke, you both look like you are dead tired, so why don't you both get some sleep? I am going to work on my chakra control for a little bit on the stream over there, and will wake you when Kakashi gets here. I doubt he will be here for a couple of hours if yesterday was any indication. Sakura smiled and mouthed thank you and laid against the tree and tried to sleep. Sasuke just humped and smirked as he leaned against the tree. Naruto walked over to the stream and started gathering chakra to his feet before he took a step out onto the water and slowly got the control right. He was thinking, this new body is great. My control has gone up a lot, and I feel stronger, but I don't know how much stronger. I suppose I can find out later. Let's see if how long I can keep this up. Sasuke saw Naruto walking on water and became enraged again that the dog did something else he could not. He sat there and stared at Naruto walking on water. Suddenly 10 more Narutos appeared and also started walking on water, and 10 more started tree climbing. 3 hours later Kakashi showed up and found Sakura sleeping, Sasuke looking ready to kill with a twitch in his eyebrows, and 21 Narutos were working on water walking or tree climbing. Kakashi smirked beneath his mask and said, "Okay Naruto, cancel the clones and come over here, Sakura wake up." Sakura woke up as Naruto walked back and Naruto asked, "Feel better?" Sakura just nodded and said, "Sakura, before we begin, why do you want to be a ninja?" Sakura thought for a moment and said, "To protect that which is precious. Naruto helped me open my eyes to that this morning and I understand it now." Kakashi smiled as he looked at Naruto and said, "Okay team. This is your test. I have 2 bells. You have until noon to get them from me. The one who does not will be sent back to the academy. Come at me with intent to kill. Begin." All 3 disappeared. Suddenly Naruto appeared and smirked as he ran at Kakashi. Kakashi sighed and ducked under a kick and said, "You should never let an enemy get behind you. 1,000 years of death." As he stuck his finger in Naruto's butt. Just as he did that, the Naruto in front of him exploded and blasted him into the air. The real Naruto appeared above him and said, "Bunshin Daibakuha Uzumaki combo," as he kicked Kakashi back toward the ground. Kakashi replaced himself with a log as he hit the ground. Naruto disappeared Aegean after he landed and hid in the trees. Sakura ran up to Naruto and said, "Naruto, stop. I figured out the test. Remember what you said this morning? We are a team. That is the test. Teamwork. Let's find Sasuke." Naruto smiled inwardly as he followed Sakura to where they could hear fighting. When they found Sasuke, Kakashi was standing over him and his head was above ground. Sakura said, "Naruto, you distract Kakashi while I get Sasuke." "Okay." Naruto nodded and created 25 clones, and they all changed into Jia with copies of Ika Paradise in their hands and started screaming, "Kakashi, my eternal rival. I have unlocked the way to pass the springtime of youth across the world. Join me as we will spread the passion of youth to the world." Kakashi, seeing 26 Jias charging at him, took off running. One of the Jia clones stopped chashing him and ran back to Sakura and Sasuke and released the henge. Sakura said, "Please tell me those eyebrows were exaggerated." Naruto said, "You wish. I seen them yesterday," and Kakashi did everything he could to run from him. Sakura said, "At least we don't have to worry about someone like that our age." Naruto said, "Actually Sakura, he had a mini-him with him yesterday." Sakura thought for a moment before screaming and fainting. Kakashi reappeared wearing a green spandex suit like Jia and said, "Naruto, you are a dead man," and charged at Naruto. Naruto sidestepped and tripped Kakashi. Sasuke took the distraction and tried to get the bells only to miss, and got his belt instead. With Kakashi falling and his belt stopping, Kakashi lost his pants and had Ika Paradise boxers on. Sakura woke up and saw Kakashi and screamed "Pervert" before inner Sakura took over and started beating the hell out of Kakashi. Naruto leaned over and grabbed the bells and handed one to Sasuke and said, "Sakura, here," as he handed her the belt. Naruto then reached into Kakashi Kuniya Holzer and pulled out his Ika Paradise Volume 14 and said, "Come on, let's go back to the training logs while we wait on him to wake up." Sasuke and Sakura followed Naruto, who was reading the book, as they went back to where they started. Sakura said, "Naruto, how can you stand to read that stuff?" Naruto looked at her and said, "Sakura, I admit I am a little perverted, but I only think about one woman who I hope I can live the rest of my life with. I am sure you just don't want to admit you have the entire collection at home." Sakura looked away red-faced and said, "I don't know what you are talking about." Naruto said, still reading, "So if by some chance I could get a hand on a signed copy of all the books from the author, you would not want it?" Sakura started twitching and said, "I do not have to dignify an answer to that." Naruto said, "That's a good scene, but Ika Paradise Volume 16 is better." Sakura said, "There is no Volume 16. Naruto said, "Not in press yet, but I have already read the unedited version of it." Kakashi appeared and said, "Is it as good as number 9? Naruto said 9 was good, but Slug Goddess beat the hell out of him, so he had to edit that one. 16 is better because he got the Wind Mistress and the Red-Eyed Warrior going into a threesome with the hero of the story." Kakashi sighed and said, "Well, you all passed because you all had teamwork. Remember this though. Those who follow the rules are trash. Those that leave their friends behind are worse than trash. Can I have my book back now, Naruto?" Naruto said, "Yeah, here you go. If I can, I will get you and Sakura both a signed copy for your collections if I see him," as he hands Kakashi his book. Kakashi giggled like a schoolgirl before he left in a puff of smoke. Sakura turned her back to Sasuke and said, "Mouth thank you," as she turned back to Sasuke and said, "Sasuke, can I walk home with you?" Sasuke walked away and said no. Naruto saw Sakura get sad and said, "Hey Sakura, if you want you can come with me to find Ino." Sakura smiled and said, "Thanks Naruto, but I am tired, so I will go home for now. I will think about what you said earlier." And she left. Naruto started to leave, but his senses caught the smell he was becoming to like as he saw Ino heading toward him from town. Naruto ran to her and hugged her and gave a kiss and said, "Did you pass Aegean?" Ino said, "Same as last time. Shika used his shadow to stop him." Choji became a distraction and I took over his body and got his SIGs. Yours the same. Naruto said actually no. We passed but this time I gave Sakura enough clues to figure it out, and I even helped her start seeing what it really means to be a ninja. I think she might come see you soon to try being friends Aegean. Ino smiled and said that would be good. So have you been getting any of his memories? Naruto said I have gotten a few but not many. Most of them come when I am trying to figure something basic out. I don't think he had very much in knowledge of jutsu. He does have a few since I can tell he transformed into a human before but I don't know much. What I can tell is he was mostly raw power. What about you? Ino said basically the same, but that's fine. We don't have to worry about not being us. You hungry? I got a sudden craving for seafood. Naruto smiled and said I know one thing you are probably going to love. I found all demons love ramen. Remember Gaara and me? Ino said how can I forget? 110 bowls between the two of you and Gaara stuck Hayash with the bill. As she started to laugh as they walked toward Ichiraku. As they walked they saw people giving Naruto the looks and a few sent toward Ino. Naruto sighed and said hate news always spread the fastest. Ino grabbed his hand and said just ignore them. They can't do anything about it no. So when do you think people will learn your real name? Naruto said I don't know. Probably after I go get mom and my grandparents. Ino said so how you going to tell them about you? Naruto said I will cross that bridge when I get to it. They continued in silence for a few minutes until they got to Ichiraku. When they sat down Ayam said oh, Naruto it's good to see you again and who is this, your girlfriend? Naruto said it's good to see you Aegean Ayam. This is. Ino said since Naruto trusted you and your dad can you both come here? Naruto shot her a questioning look and she squeezed his hand. Ayam nodded but was curious and went and got her dad. Nobody else was there because they left when Naruto arrived. A few moments later Ichiraku came and said so what is it you needed to see me about? Ino said your daughter wanted to know if I was Naruto's girlfriend and since you both know about his situation and respected him I wanted to show my respect to you. This is a secret to only a select few but he is my fiancé. As she showed her hand and they saw the ring tattoo on her finger and saw Naruto had a matching one. Ayam had hearts in her eyes and Ichiraku smiled and said the ramen gods have smiled on you boy. So what would you like? I will refer to you as a couple until it becomes public knowledge okay. First bowl is on the house. Naruto smiled and said 10 miso for me. Ino said I will take 1 seafood with extra meat please. Ayam said no problem as her dad returned to cooking. A few minutes later their order was done and they started to eat. Ino said Naruto, I hate to admit it but you were right about ramen. Naruto smiled and said it calms the savage beast. Ino punched him in the arm and said I am not savage. I am refined. Naruto chuckled and said I agree. As he finished eating. After they ate they went back to Team 7 training ground and Naruto said well I think we should start seeing how good these bodies are. Ino nodded and she started practicing her katas from her fighting style she picked up when she was older. Naruto started off with trying to form a Rasengan. He was able to make it no problem. He then put his hands in a seal and said Tajukage Bunshin no Jutsu, and 1,000 clones appeared. Ino stopped and said Naruto, can you teach me that? Naruto said sure just let me get them started. Okay I want half of you to do tree climbing and the other half water walking. Go until I dispel you or you run out of chakra. All the clones started practicing and Naruto turned to Ino and said the only seal is put your hands like this and focus your chakra into it. The more chakra the more clones. I will tell you now. Anything a clone does you learn when it is dispelled so you could read an entire library in one day if you could make as many as I can. But when you release them do them in small bunches. Too many and you get a headache or pass out from all the knowledge, but it helps greatly with chakra control. Ino tried it and the first clone looked sick. Naruto said a lot more chakra. Put as much as you can into it. Ino closed her eyes and concentrated before doing the seal's Aegean, and when she opened her eyes 200 clones were there. Naruto smiled and said well done. If you want to make more and get stronger have them do what mine is doing. Ino nodded and told her clones what to do. Naruto said after I get paid I am going to buy some weights to help my stamina and speed. You want some? Ino thought for a moment and said yeah I think I will, but won't it cost more than you have to buy that many weights as you used to carry? Naruto said I am going to buy some quick release weights and since Ero-san taught me sealing I can put chakra seals on them. Ino smiled and said boy by the time we get done we will be unstoppable. Naruto smiled and said yeah, I can't wait. Anyways let's go and practice sparring for now, and we will dispel our clones after we are done. Naruto got into the hummingbird style like he learned was his dad's style. Ino got into the tiger style which she was remembering from Nibi's memories. Naruto said I don't recognize that style. Ino thought for a moment and said I remember it from Nibi's memories. It's called tiger style. My body naturally got into it for some reason. Naruto thought for a moment and switched his style and said, I can recall this style also. It's called fox style. Let's try it out. Ino nodded and together they charged at each other. Chapter 4. It has been 3 weeks since they had become genins. Kakashi surprisingly had decided to teach them a little more. He had made them all learn tree climbing where they could do it for an hour without stopping and had even taught them a little taijutsu. Ninjutsu he had not taught anything but he said he would. He was still 3 hours late. So far Team 7 had done 2060 rank mission. Kakashi has also been getting to know Naruto, stopping by and dropping a fruit and also helping Naruto with his shopping problems twice a week. Naruto would give him money and a list and Kakashi would deliver it himself for Naruto since he can't get it himself. Surprisingly, it was not mostly ramen. He actually got vegetable, some meat and fish, bread and a few other items. Kakashi offered to teach Naruto Chidori, but Naruto said that jutsu is a headache and I am a wind user with a little earth and water. Lightning jutsu are my major weakness. Fire is good when I use wind to add to it. Ino and Sakura had both become friends Aegean, but Ino kept hers and Naruto's secret and just said they were dating. The third laughed after Team 10 had to bring Tora in the first time. The cat actually bowed to Ino. Ino and Naruto met every other day after team practice for 2 hours. Her parents still made her work at her family flower shop. People tried to say they would quit doing business with them if Ino did not break up, but after getting a surprise visit from a ABNU or having a bunch of cats dragging dead birds and fish to people's homes, they stopped. That and they were the only flower shop in town, so they could not go elsewhere. It also helped the Ino/Shiko/Cho family mate stated they were not going to tolerate Naruto being abused anymore, and would defend him or any friends/family he might have in the future. The Kusal back off of trying to get Naruto in trouble with 3 major clans backing him now. Naruto and Ino both had chakra weights on and Naruto was close to 1,000 pounds while Ino was close to 400 pounds. Naruto also picked up some blank scrolls and a standard ABNU katana. He was trying to learn kenjutsu. Their teams for the most part just left them alone when they were training. Sasuke would often hide in trees watching them trying to learn where they were getting their strength from. However, he mysteriously keeps getting attacked by stray cats and a few foxes that always come out whenever Ino and Naruto were training. His biggest enemy was Tora, the Fire Lord's cat, which he can't kill because a $10,000 bounty was put on the head of anyone who harmed the cat. Naruto and Ino both summoned one of their lower summons and explained to them how they were summoned. Both cats and foxes bowed to their respective new bosses. Team 7 was standing in front of the Hokage after returning Tora to her owner. Sasuke was shooting the cat death glares and his hand was twitching as he was trying not to pull out a kunai, for it keeps scratching and attacking him. The third said, Team 7, your next mission is a C-rank mission. Irika, who was standing next to him, said, sorry to interrupt Hokage-sama, but do you think it is wise to send them out on a C rank already? I don't know if they are ready. The third said, Irika, I understand your concern, but I feel Team 7 is ready for this. Irika nodded and stayed silent. The third said, send him in. And a drunk old man walked in. The man looked at Team 7 and said, this is what I paid for, a dark-haired boy with a nervous twitch, a pink-haired girl who looks like a strong wind would blow her over, and a boy with a sword who looks like he can't even hold it. I am the master bridge builder Tazana and I need bodyguards to protect me until I finish my bridge. Naruto said, we are ninjas, sir. We are master of deception, and we are more skilled than we appeared. You can relax. Our team will make sure to do our duty and make sure you can finish your bridge. Also, our sensei will be along to help protect you. Tazana sighed and said, very well, I don't have a choice anyways. Meet me in 2 hours at the west gates. And he left the office. The third looked at Naruto and said, Naruto, that was nicely handled, but remember to look out for your teammates. Naruto said, don't worry, old man. Everything will work out. The third nodded and Kakashi followed his team out after catching the look from the Hokage that said keep them safe. Naruto quickly grabbed his scrolls he had pre-packed with camping and non-perishable food supplies, as well as 1 scroll of extra weapons. He smiled when he thought, man, am I glad Ero-san taught me how to do sealing. Naruto quickly wrote a note and locked his place up. He did not have to worry about intruders much now since he put seals on all his windows and doors. Only people Naruto trusted could get in. Irika was told Kakashi, and the Hokage did it for Naruto. Naruto quickly ran to the Yamenko flower shop and entered. Ino's mom Sarah was at the counter. Nobody was at the shop since it was already afternoon. Naruto walked up and said, hi Mrs. Yamenko. Is Ino home yet? Sarah said, no, not yet, Naruto. Can I help you with anything? Naruto said, yeah, I got an out-of-town mission starting shortly and I would like you to give this letter to Ino for me. Sarah nodded and said, sure. Be safe or Ino will kill you. Bye. Naruto waved bye as he left the shop and went to meet his team and the client. When Naruto arrived at the west gate, Sakura and Sasuke were there already, but the client and Kakashi had not arrived. Sasuke saw Naruto did not have a pack like him and Sakura and decided to make fun of him. Sasuke said, "Hey Dobe, where's your stuff, or are you too stupid to being anything?" Sakura, who had her best friend Aegeon and was getting to actually know Naruto a little better. Sakura could not believe Sasuke was being such an ass, but Naruto said, "Sasuke, I don't have to carry a big pack to carry all my stuff. I use summon scrolls to carry everything I need." Sasuke said, "You're right. You don't know anything, idiot. Quit trying to make yourself look good." Naruto sighed and said, "Sakura, how would you like to have all of your stuff in a summon scroll so you don't have to carry that heavy pack?" Sakura smiled and said, "Sure, I would love to." Naruto pulled out a blank scroll from his pouch and quickly made a few seals on it, and said, "Okay Sakura, put your backpack on the scroll and channel chakra into the seal on it." Sakura did, and her pack disappeared. Naruto then said, "Sakura, I need you to cut your finger just enough to bleed a little so that you are the only person who can open your scroll. When you get blood, just drop it on the seal. First blood on the seal is the only person who can use the seal." "Got it." Sakura did what Naruto said, and after that he handed it to her, and said, "Just wipe a little blood on the seal and channel chakra into it, and it will unseal." "Oh look, here's Kakashi and the client." Kakashi walked up and noticed two of his students seemed happy and ready, and the other one had that nervous twitch Aegeon in his eyebrows. Kakashi sighed as they started to leave the Leaf Village. An Abianu appeared with a tiger mask. The Abianu walked to Kakashi and said as he handed Kakashi a scroll proof for the proposal if you meet them. He said you would know who? And then left is a swirl of leaves. Team 7 continued their mission. Ino had just returned home, which is above her family flower shop, from her team training. Ino walked in and said, "Mom, Dad, I'm home. Do you need anything before I go see Naruto?" Sarah said, "Ino dear, I am sorry but Naruto had an out-of-town mission and said to give you this note." As she handed it to Ino. "Ino-chan. Sorry for missing you, but I had the wave mission I told you about come up. I wanted to tell you personally, but I did not know where to find you. I love you and can't wait to see you again. Take care of yourself, my little kitten. See you soon. Yours." Ino blushed as she read it. She could not be more happy to have such a great person in her life. Ino quickly put the letter away later in safekeeping. Ino sighed and said, "Mom, you need any help around the shop today?" Sarah said, "Yeah, your father and I would like to go out and eat alone tonight if that's okay with you." Ino said, "Yeah, you can't live forever now, can you?" Sarah said, "Don't talk to your mother like that, young lady. I can still bend you over my knees." Ino laughed and said, "Yeah, but are you sure your arthritis won't act up?" Inoich was laughing at the little bikering and said, Now, ladies, I don't want a cat fight in here, so retract your claws or I might give you a flea bath and someone might have a heart attack in her old age also." Ino looked at her mom as Sarah started to crack her knuckles. Sarah said, "Ino has been kind enough to teach me a special moves for male jerks." Inoich started backing up and Ino appeared in front of him. He then heard, "Never let an angry woman who you insulted get behind you, dear. 1,000,000 years of broomstick." As a broomstick was shoved up his butt. Inoich screamed as he flew out the door that a customer just opened to come in. He started running toward the hospital with the broomstick stick waving as he ran. The customer, who was a retired female ninja in her 30s named Aya, who is a friend of the family and a repeat customer, said, Tsunade created a version of that and started teaching it to all female ninja. Do they still teach that to young ladies? Ino said, "Not that I know of. A friend of mine told me about it. I think it's a good jutsu to learn for husbands, perverts, and future husbands who look at other women or piss you off." The three women laughed about that. At Kanha Hospital at that very moment, a doctor said, "Now hold very still, Mr. Yamenko. If you move you might get splinters from this broom handle and we will have to do surgery on your rectum." As the doctor started removing the broomstick, Inoich sneezed. After that he was thinking, this is the last time I joke about my wife's age or my daughter's being a cat demon. It's a real pain in the ass. On the road to Wave Country, the two demon brothers had just cut Kakashi replacement, and Naruto was throwing a kunai to pin their chains to a tree, but he sneezed and missed or hit how you look at it. Gozu looked over at his brother Meizu and screamed, "How can you do that to a man, you monster? You made him a female." Naruto said, "It's not my fault I sneezed and caused my kunai to miss." Gozu ran to his brother and stabbed him in the head and said, "This is all I can do for you, brother. No man should suffer that fate." He then drew a kunai and charged at Naruto, who started to defend himself, and after 5 minutes grabbed Gozu and threw him at Sasuke, who was not expecting it, and caught Gozu on reflex but not before receiving a knee to the family jewels for his trouble. Inner Sakura appeared and beat the hell out of Gozu. Tazana had one hand guarding his manhood and the other on his sake bottle, thinking I would be better off with Gato. Kakashi, who had hidden in a tree, sneezed at almost the exact moment, and fell out of his tree and landed on his head, knocking himself out, and his Ika Makeout Tactics Volume 2 fell on the ground. Haku, who was watching the fights after feeling sorry for Meizu, landed beside Kakashi and picked up his book before reading a few lines and flying backwards with a massive nosebleed. He awoke a few moments later and went back to hide. Somewhere in grass country, a white-haired man who was scribbling in a notebook while giggling sneezed, and the screams of Pervert was heard before he got beat down. After the woman left him, the Pervert thought Tsunade must be thinking about me Aegean. Somewhere between fire country, a blonde-haired woman had just hit 3-7 on a slot machine when she sneezed and the machine said tilt, making her lose. Back with Ino. Sarah said, for some reason I feel that justice has been served somehow. Ino said, you just saying that because you and Dad can't wait for the make-out. Sarah blushed as the Aya and Ino both laughed. Sarah, deciding two can play that game, said, so when are you and Mr. Dreaming going to make me a grandma, huh? I at least want to be young enough to play with my grandchildren. Now it was Ino's turn to blush before saying, not until we are married. Aya said, so, you and Whiskers are engaged now, huh? In my day girls got rings, but looks like you got tattoos. I noticed the other day Naruto had the same one on his same finger. Ino sighed and said, yes, please keep it a secret for no. Aya squealed and said, we have got to throw you a bachelorette party soon. I will get you a copy of the best marital book on the market today. Ika lovers. The man who writes them is a pervert, but they are good books. Ino said, I don't think I need it. Sarah said, as a hush-hush voice, we have got to get her a few things from Tour Share and Interrogation for Woman magazine. Ino screamed MMM. On the way to Wave. Naruto was guarding Tazana as Kakashi was fighting Zabuza when a scream of MMM was heard and stopped the battle. Naruto said, sounds like Ino. Sakura, wanting to make a joke, said she does have the lung capacity for it. Naruto muttered, you not telling me anything new. Kakashi just sighed and said, young love. Zabuza just shrugged his shoulders and they continued to fight. The two water dragons exploded, and when the water cleared, Kakashi blocked the strike of Zabuza's sword with a kunai. Naruto had already decided to let things go like they first happened to a point, just stood guard, and after using his heightened sense he could tell when Haku got closer. Deciding the time was right, Naruto said, so Kakashi-sensei. Did Zabuza pass the test like the Hokage said? Is he strong enough to become a leaf ninja? Kakashi, who already knew the Hokage had authorized it, decided to play along, and said, yeah, he has Naruto. To be on par with me he has to be good. Anyways, the options his and his assistant we got the report on. Naruto said, his assistant is here also. I can detect her. Maybe we should end this test now and let them have some time to think about joining with full immunity after the probation period. Naruto smiled and then frowned when Sasuke saw Haku was a girl when they prepared her body for the funeral. Haku, who was in the trees, heard this and at first was struck how someone can detect her and knew she was a female. Zabuza said as Hei jumped away from Kakashi, what are you talking about, Kakashi? Kakashi said, we were informed about you both before we took this mission because you had been spotted in the area. The Hokage decided after he received information that you were framed and could use a new start. Konoha does not have many kenjutsu teachers and only about 10 of us that I am aware of now sway Dunjutsu. Also, we know about the bloodline your assistant has. Konoha loves bloodlines, so she would be welcomed and not treated like Miss does. Zabuza said, nice trick, do you have any proof? Kakashi pulled out a scroll and said, here is the proposal from our Hokage. You know we will be in Wave for a while and you have time to consider it. I know you have to be tired of being on the run from hunters. As he threw the scroll at Zabuza, Haku appeared and caught the scroll and opened it to start reading. After finishing, Haku said, it is as he says. Full amnesty if we join the Leaf after a 3-month probation period. Zabuza, who still was in a defense position, said, I will have to think about it. I will let you know my answer the next time we meet. It will either be with a handshake or the sharp end of my blade. And with that, both Zabuza and Haku disappeared. Kakashi walked over to his group and caught something from Naruto. It was a pill. He looked at Naruto and Naruto said, soldier pill, you are ready to collapse, so cover that damn eye. Kakashi looked sheepish as he covered his Sharingan and took the pill. He said, well team, fun's over, let's continue our mission. Keep defense formation for now. Team 10 was standing in front of the Hokage and he said, Team 10, your next mission is a C-rank mission. I want you to deliver this scroll to the Kazekage in Suna. You leave in an hour. Dismissed. Everyone in Team 10 but Ino started to leave, but Ino said, can I speak to you privately, sir? Everyone looked at her, but the Hokage said, sure, she will meet the rest of you at the gate. Dismissed. After everyone was gone, the third said, what can I do for you, Ino? Ino said, I actually had 2 things I wanted to ask if possible, sir. After he nodded to go ahead, Ino said, the first is, would it be possible to try and get Tsunade-sama and Jiraiya here before the Chunin exams? I know that's what we are delivering our travel papers for Suna's team. The third thought for a moment, and said, only if you tell me why. Ino sighed and said, that's when the snake bastard will start the sand/sound war with us. He probably already killed the Kazekage now and is impersonating him. The third though for a moment, and said, what is the other request? Not answering her first question. Ino said, the other request is personal but not for me. Naruto told you how Shizen told him about his family. What he did not tell you is by that time Tsunade and Jiraiya had already died in battle and she died moments later after her confession. He never got to really experience a family because of that. I know he is always thinking about others first, but I request if you can get them, tell them the truth before the war. I know this might cause trouble for you and I am sorry, but I just wanted to request it because Naruto is too stubborn to ask for himself. I guess it runs in the family. The third sighed and said, I will see what I can do. Do not mention anything until I tell you. Dismissed. Ino said, thank you, Hokage-sama. I hope everything works out, and we all survive because I want you to be the one who performs our wedding when it comes time. The third chuckled and said I would be glad to. Naruto has always been like a grandchild to me and nothing would make me happier. Ino left and the third sighed before starting to write out 2 long letters that would probably get him killed. 695. Chapter 5. Ino joined her team at the main gates and Shikamaru said, what was that all about, troublesome woman? Ino said, I had a personal request for the Hokage from my family. Mostly a mission request to find some people. Asuma dropped his cigarette and said, if it's who I think you are talking about, things are going to get exiting. Ino smiled and said, it's just 3 people. I am excited to see Aegean if he can find them. And she started purring from being so happy. Choji continued to eat his chips and Shikamaru said, Ino, you are too troublesome, but why have you started sound like you're purring every now and then? You have been doing that a lot since you and Naruto suddenly got so close. Ino smiled and said, it's because I finally found someone who understands me like we have been together for a lifetime and understand each other on a whole other level. Shikamaru said, troublesome? As they continued on their way to Suna. Asuma decided to lighten the mood and said, you know, every time I see Suna it reminds me of a litter box. Ino hissed as she screamed SSSSENNNSSSSEII. Naruto, who was sitting at the table at Tazana House, heard a scream of SSSSENNNSSSEII and Sakura said, Naruto, I have one question for you. How can you stand to be with Ino when she can scream so loud to be heard all the way here? Naruto said, she only is like that when someone upsets her. To me she's my little kitten. Kakashi, not missing a chance, said, so are you her big strong fox? Sasuke smirked and said, he certainly has the look of one with those whiskers. Sakura looked at Naruto as he put his hands on his face. She then said, so Naruto, would you mind telling me why you and Ino have matching tattoos on your ring finger? Naruto looked at his hand and smiled and said, someday I will. Sakura said, so how did you and Ino start, huh? Kakashi said, I also have wondered that. Naruto thought for a moment. Flashback. A 19-year-old Sasuke had already absorbed Orochimaru's soul into his own and had led a surprise attack on Konoha. Him and Naruto had both summoned their respective bosses to fight each other. It was a stalemate with neither getting the upper hand. Ino had got close to their battle and was locked in a fight with 2 sound ninja. Sasuke saw her and decided it was time to gain the upper hand against Naruto. He suddenly used the Senjutsu, hidden shadow snake hand, and sent a viper out of his sleeves at Ino, who still had her back to them. Naruto saw this and intercepted the snake right before it bit him. Sakura appeared beside Sasuke and punched him in the chest with her super strength and broke 6 of his ribs, and he went flying. Kabuto appeared and caught him before ordering the retreat as they both disappeared. Ino saw Naruto as he fell beside her with the snake still attached to his arm. Sakura ran over and started to treat him and removed the poison from him. Ino, after he was healed, hugged him and said, thanks for saving me, and then kissed him a quick kiss on the lips. Flashback end. Naruto smiled and said, I saved her from a snake and got bit by it while outside the walls of our village. She kissed me for saving her life and we got closer after that. Sakura had hearts in her eyes and said, how romantic. Sasuke said, what a waste of time. If she could not save herself from a snake, she deserved it. She should not leave the village if she could not take care of herself. There are no snakes in Konoha to get bit by. Naruto said, not all snakes have fangs and there are snakes in Konoha. They just hide better. As he looked at Sasuke with narrowed eyes. Kakashi, not wanting to start a fight, said, okay, I want you all to get rest. Tomorrow we will begin water walking training since you all know the tree climbing. You can do it beside the bridge, taking turns while we guard the client. Naruto, since you already know it, you will teach the others while I stand guard. Team 7 finished eating and went to bed. Time skip 3 days later. Suna. Team 10 had made it to Suna and had already delivered their scrolls. The Kazekage had set them up in a hotel for the night to rest before returning last night. Ino was currently walking through the village before they returned when she felt a spike of killer intent. She went to investigate and saw Baki, who was standing in front of Gaara, Temari, Kankuro. The Baki left, and Ino came out of hiding and walked toward the group and said, sorry to interrupt, but I was wondering if you could tell me if you have any ramen stands or a decent restaurant that might have seafood here. The Sand team noticed Ino had a Konoha headband and said, no, sorry, we don't have ramen or seafood because not enough people like ramen, and we are too far to get seafood before it goes bad. What is a Konoha ninja doing here? Ino sighed and said my team and I was sent to deliver a scroll to the Kazekage. I think it's for the Chunin exams coming up soon. Gaara said what is your name? With a look that said I will kill you. Ino said you will find out at the exams raccoon. Oh before I forget I have a message for you. The fox can't wait to see you. The sand team was scared for a moment and Temari said wait. How do you know we are going to be in the exams and how do you know about Gaara? Ino turned around and said simple, people talk about Gaara condition all over because of his thirst for blood, second people in your village already talking about peace from Fear Demon and third, the raccoon should learn who his new master is, besides. His new master might fix that weak seal if he behaves and don't mention this to anyone or you can forget about getting him to shut up and getting some sleep. It would be nice to have you brother back without having to worry about killing you when around him. Ask for Naruto when you arrive. And she was engulfed in a yellow light before disappearing. Temari said what do you think? Kankuro said I don't know. She knew all about us. It's not that big of a secret but what was that about a fox? Gaara said I don't know but if this Naruto can do what she claims then I want it. If not I will kill him and her. If either of you mention this I will kill both of you. Come, Kazekage wants to see us. He said Kazekage with venom in his voice. Ino smiled and thought as she joined her team at the gates as they left I hope you know what you are doing Naruto. It would be nice to get the good Gaara who became Kazekage Aegean. Hopefully you won't have to nearly kill each other this time. Naruto was standing on top of the water by the bridge watching Sakura and Sasuke practice water walking. They both finally got the standing part but Sakura falls after about 3 minutes and Sasuke falls after about 10. Naruto said okay, you both have the standing part but walking is still difficult. Let's call it a day and try Aegean tomorrow since you both are almost out of chakra. Sasuke grew mad and said Dobe, tell me how you can already know this and how come you have stood out here all day with us without leaving the water and we both fall after a few minutes. Who is teaching you this and why you? Naruto thought for a moment and said the people who taught me how to do this died and I won't tell you who they were out of respect. As for how I can stand out here is because I have done this a lot longer than either of you. As for why, I did something for them and they gave me some help. Their help is why I passed to become a genin. I can't make regular bunshins because I have too much chakra. It is why I can make cage bunshin. Sasuke said you're right Dobe. So exactly how did you graduate? We all saw you fail. Naruto said the truth is I was tricked into doing something by Mizuki. He then tried to kill me and Iruka and I saved Iruka life by defeating and capturing the traitor. An almost forgotten law said if a person saves the life of a ninja or captures a traitor to the village he or she would become a ninja at the rank of their skills. Sasuke said so you saved Iruka and captured Mizuki. I don't believe you. Naruto said believe what you want. My being here is proof enough as he walked up the bridge support with Sakura following him. Sasuke walked to the support beam and punched it and thought I will find out how you are really becoming strong and take it for myself Dobe. Before climbing up the beam himself. The next day when Team 7 arrived at the bridge all the workers were standing at the end of the bridge scared and Zabuza and Haku were standing in front of them. Kakashi said so what did you decide? Zabuza said I am going to accept your offer. At first I was going to decline but when Gozu returned alone while I was fighting you Gato killed him. I would have killed Gato then for killing my men but he was too well protected then. I overheard him and he plans to kill me after I fight you today and sell Haku to the slave rings. I don't want that to happen. The price for me joining your village is you help me kill him. Kakashi shook his head and then shook hands with Zabuza. Tazana told his men to start work and stay behind the ninja when the fight starts. Naruto just remembered something and said Shiki, Kakashi, be back in a few. And then he disappeared as flames surrounded him. Zabuza whistled and said nice trick, think I could learn that. Kakashi said I just wonder if I could learn it. Inari was running to save his mom and the mercenary was swinging his sword down to kill Inari when a flash of flames appeared between the sword and Inari, and Naruto already had his sword out blocking the strike. The merc were so surprised that the fact of a perfect Rasengan hit him in the stomach, and he was sent flying backwards did not register before he hit the tree. Naruto swung his sword in an overhead slash since it was still in a guard position and decapitated the other merc. Naruto then checked the man who he hit with a Rasengan and found him dead. Naruto then turned to Inari and said good job saving your mom and distracting them from me. Remember to always protect what is precious. And then disappeared into flames Aegean. Team 7 were on the bridge preparing to fight 200 merc that Gato brought as they charged toward them when in the middle of the bridge a burst of flames appeared between Team 7 and the mercs. Everyone stopped at that for a moment and Gato when he saw the headband for Konoha and said kill him also. He is just a kid. The merc waited to see what happened before attacking. Naruto walked back to Team 7 and noticed all the workers were gone so he figured they were sent away before Gato got there and said as he looked at the odds looks like we got 201 targets. One with the least kills buys dinner. Sakura gawked at Naruto and said Naruto, we're just genins. We have not killed yet. Naruto said where do you think I went? 2 merc went after Tazana family before I killed them. We're ninja, we kill but we are not merely tools. Anyways, any takers? Sasuke not wanted to be outdone and said you're on dope. Kakashi sighed before smiling and said him in, Sakura guard the client. Either of you want some action? Zabuza said him in. Haku sighed before saying men and their egos. Him in. I will show him I will be no one's slave. Naruto smirked and created 2 clones and said Kakashi, want to see the completed version the 4th never finished. Kakashi said you figured out how to do that. Naruto started forming a Rasengan, and 2 clones started helping before changing the shape to look like a shuriken and said this is a futon, Rasen shuriken. It took me a while to figure out how to do this without destroying my own body. Who's first? One merc said they talk big let's get he never finished as a Saban needle went in his heart killing him. Haku said that's one. And so the 2 group charged. Naruto flamed Shushin to the middle of the group and hit a merc and flamed Shushin back to Sakura as the Raise Shuriken exploded and killed about 30 men for the blast and wind damage in the middle of the group. They were all cut to pieces by the wind element. Kakashi said that only counted as one, as he stabbed 1 merc in the heart while he blocked a sword from another with a kunai in his other hand. Sasuke had yet to actually kill anyone. He tried using Katon Phoenix Fireball Jutsu but only hit 1 slow merc in the shoulder. Haku had already formed her demonic ice mirrors around a group of 15 and was cutting them to down with her senbons. Zabuza was mostly just decapitating anyone who got in the way of his head chopper blade. Naruto created 10 clones and charged into the fight each carrying copy of his sword. Gato could not believe what he was seeing. His men were being killed by these ninja. Deciding it was time to leave he quickly ran to the edge of the bridge and climbed to his ship below. Once he made it he drew his cane apart and cut the rope ladder with his sword that was inside his cane. He told the captain of the ship to leave now. The group of ninja had just finished killing the last of the mercs, and saw Gato was gone. They looked around and heard a boat motor below the bridge start. They ran to the side of the bridge, and saw the ship with Gato waving on it far below leaving. Kakashi said damn, as they saw his ship getting further away. Sasuke collapsed from chakra exhaustion for using too many jutsu. Naruto ran and jumped off the bridge while biting his thumb and going through some seal before shouting Kuchios no Jutsu, and suddenly a giant 7-tailed blue fox appeared under Naruto standing on top of the water, and the fox said what can I do for you Naruto-sama? Naruto pointed to Gato who was standing on his boat scared said Silga, I want you to put him in your ultimate genjutsu on him for me so he will suffer before he dies. I could have you just kill or eat him but straight killing him is too good, and he is so vile I bet he would make you puke. The fox nodded that waved its tails and then Gato started screaming and clawing at his own body before stabbing himself with his own sword. The fox then took Naruto back to the bridge and he jumped on it, and the fox said before I return master, the others are wondering when the marriage between yourself and Lady Ino will be between the 2 lands. Both us and the cats are all ready to join lands in our world. Naruto looked sheepish as everyone was looking at him and said it will be soon Silga, for now just prepare the lands. We both will be coming after the marriage here for a ceremony in Makai for our people there. Also please put the slugs and toads on the special guest list. Silga nodded and said very well Lord Gambunta has been trying to find you for some time anyways Lord and contacted our kind after hearing about the new Lord. Remember time in our world is different than yours so he knows you and said once you sign it he will grant you permission. And with that he disappeared. Sakura said Naruto what was that all about and what is this about a marriage between Ino and you? How come he acted like you were his king or something and what do you mean going to Makai wherever that is? Naruto sighed and said Sakura, I will explain it all to you since Kakashi already knows when we get home and talk to the Hokage in private. Do not mention anything about what happened here before then especially to Sasuke. You will find out why later. I am tired from summoning, Flame Shushin several times, Rasengan and Rasen Shuriken as well as Cage Bunshin. I am going back to the house and rest. I think we all could use it since Gato's dead and Wave Country is free. And with that he left. The bridge was finished a few days later and Sasuke was still in the dark about what happened after he passed out. Sakura still wanted to know but would wait. Naruto had become good friends with Haku and Kakashi got Zabuza hooked on Ika Ika Paradise. Sakura had also gotten friends with Haku. Sasuke became even more jealous since then and learned that Naruto had won the contest with 71 kills. Zabuza had 54, Kakashi had 53, and Haku had 20, and he only had 3. He had hurt more but not kill. The trip back was not eventful. When they got back Kakashi released Team 7 for the rest of the week to rest as he took Zabuza and Haku to the Hokage. Naruto started to go see Ino but Sakura stopped him and said I want to come with you so I can talk to Ino also. Naruto nodded and Sasuke went home to brood and think of killing his brother. When Naruto got to Ino's home she was at the cash register and saw Naruto followed by Sakura and said hey, how was your mission? Did things work out? Naruto said yeah they worked out and we saved Zabuza and Haku this time. Some stuff happened and Sakura knows too much not to tell her the truth. I told her she would have to wait till we talk to the old man since he wants to know who knows the truth. Ino looked sheepish and said I think he might be out of the hospital now. Naruto said what happened. Why is he in the hospital? Ino smiled and said I kind of requested something before I went to Suna and yes I gave Gaara the message but when we got back he had already done what I requested. Naruto said scared Ino, what did you request? Ino said a lot happened. Your mom and grandparents are here and they already know the whole truth from me including the new about us. Your mom and grandma beat the shit out of the Hokage and your grandpa proposed after he gave up restaining your grandma. Surprisingly she accepted after he agreed to pay all of her debts and cut back on his pervertiveness. Big news is the council had a field day after they found out about your ancestry. Danzo was executed for attempting to assassinate the Hokage in the hospital and Root was disbanded. Hayash surprisingly put you under the Hyuga protection and you already had the 3 other clans backing you. Shino's family also put you under your protection but that was after his dad discovered the truth about us from his bugs and asked the Hokage for information. He holds no judgment against us and said he would keep it a secret for only his clan to know and they would prepare accordingly. You have already gotten a damn fan club also because your old burden was made public knowledge. Also your stuff has been moved to your family homes and you have been given access to your inheritance, including your family name. Sakura said will someone please tell me what's going on? Ino said I suppose I will but let's go to the Hokage office. Some people are wanting to see Naruto. Mom am leaving. And the 3 left after Sarah came in to relieve Ino. A few minutes later and a lot less looks of hatred at Naruto they made it to the Hokage office. The Abian let them in after calling Naruto, Kazama-sama. When they got there Naruto smiled as he saw who was there. Shizen spit out her water she was drinking. Tsunade dropped the book in her hand and Jiraiya was looking with pride. Kakashi was still there along with the 3rd. Naruto said hello mom, Tsunade Bakkan, Ero-sanin. It's good to see you all. A vein appeared on Tsunade's head and she said I am not that old. Shizen slowly walked to Naruto gave him a hug and said I am so sorry, I was told you died. If I had known I would have been there for you. Please forgive me. Naruto hugged her back and for the first time in 2 lifetimes finally knew the love of being held by a mother, and all of his emotional walls he built up gave way and he cried tears of joy. The Hokage said after a few minutes of him finally stopped crying and being hugged by both of his grandparents sorry for interrupting the moment, but I understand from Kakashi that Sakura knows too much and is needing some answers so I will say this once. This is a S-class secret. Only a select few know the entire truth and for them to tell you means they trust you. Do not show that trust was bad Sakura. Understand? Sakura nodded and Ino said okay what do you know so far so I can fill in the blanks. Sakura said all I know is somehow Naruto summoned a fox that kept acting like Naruto was king and said you were getting married and something about a place called Makai. Ino nodded and said long story short. You know that Kyuubi was killed by Naruto dad the Odium. Sakura looked at Naruto in awe and then Ino said that is a lie. The truth is he could not kill the demon. Instead he had to seal it into Naruto the day he was born. Yodium died doing it, and the 3rd changed Naruto's name to keep him safe from his dad's enemies. He also told his family that Naruto died during the attack. Tsunade and Jiraiya has a love-hate relationship and they were Yodame parents in secret. Shizen over there is Naruto mom. Anyways back to now. Naruto and I are both from almost 13 years in the future. A lot of stuff happens and all of our friends and family died. Our home was destroyed. We were given a way to come back but we would have to pay a price which we both did. Sakura said if you're from the future can you tell me about myself? Ino sighed and looked sad and said you apprentice under the Godame Hokage Tsunade and become the best medic under her. I also learned medical jutsu but I was more of an interrogator. You want like this but you were killed by the traitor Sasuke. Sakura said why would Sasuke do that? Naruto said to try and master his bloodline? The Sharingan has a level past the 3rd comma. Sasuke will do anything to get it. He betrays our village several times and probably will do it again if we can't stop it. Sakura, you have to understand his brother screwed his head up so bad when he killed the rest of his family there is no saving him. We tried everything. You offered him love, your virginity, you even offered to go with him and betray your home for him, and he just ignored you. The requirement to get that level of his bloodline is you have to kill your best friend who you must emotionally care for. He first tried to kill me but the Kyuubi kept saving my life. He then tried making false friend in Sound Village and killing them, and it still would not work. He then thought that maybe it had to be someone who loved him and killed you when you were doing charity work at the hospital in Wave Country when we started a new village there called Seedling. Sasuke never emotionally cared for anyone so he was never able to get the final level before I was forced to kill him to save your daughter. Sakura smiled and felt sad at the same time and said can you tell me who was my daughter dad was? Ino snickered and said I could but you won't believe me until you get older and learn what a sweat yet eccentric guy he can be. Especially after he changes. Sakura huffed, and said, so what was the price you both paid? Ino said, I will tell you and show you, but I want you to know we are still your friends and still care for you and everyone else. Okay. Sakura nodded and Ino and Naruto's shapes shift into their true forms, and Naruto said the price was Kyubi gave his life and his lover's Nibi, who was in another dimension, fatally wounded. I became the new Kyubi and the king of all demons, and Ino became the new Nibi, the two-tailed cat. We gave up our mortality because we will never grow. We can still die several different ways, but never of old age. To save our home and precious people, that was the price we paid. As for the marriage thing, before we came back I proposed, and she accepted. Seeing as we are both the head of the fox and cats, our marriage will mean the people in Makai will join as one kingdom. As they both changed back into their normal appearance, Sakura smiled and said, I understand why you did not want Sasuke to know about anything now, and I will keep both of your secrets, and I still think of you both the same. Tsunade said, if that's true, I have two questions. The first is what will happen to any children you have, and my second question is any way to make us live forever. Naruto smiled and said, well, the thing is I found this out. I may be the king of demons, but humans only call us demons because we are so strong and scary, and our long lives. We are just lesser being under the supreme lord of all life, whatever you want to call him. Think of me as the Hokage, and the other tailed demons are my council, and I am over a village. I can ask Supreme Lord for certain people to come to my village, and if he agree, that is what I plan to do. I plan on asking for Dad to be released from the Shinigami and request my family and friends to be sent to my land when you leave this world. I can't take you while you live here, unfortunately. One thing I should tell you is that the people there look like normal people, but when summoned, the summon changed their forms. That's how all the tailed beasts came here first. Humans summoned them wrong and they could not go back, so they got pissed and attacked humans. Shizen said, so that means I will get to see Erasure again, and we can be a whole family. Naruto smiled and said, I hope so, but I don't want any of you to go out and try to die because I want you here for as long as possible. As for children, we can't have children here. They will be full-blooded demons and still appear human, but they will gain attributes like Ino and I as they get older, so they will have to live in Makai. The third sighed and said, what about if you had a human wife, Naruto? No offense, Ino, but I just need to know if he could have human children if he had a mortal wife. Ino said, what do you mean? Are you saying I am not good enough for him, or that I can't marry him? Shizen said, I know what he's talking about. Erasure was asked the same question. Being the last heir of the founder of the village, Naruto falls into the Clan Resurrection Act. The council could not pressure Erasure into it much since Tsunade was still young enough to have children and her brother was alive until she was 18, but Naruto is the last who could produce a child and possibly carry one of either bloodline. Ino stopped her ranting and said, I understand, but I don't like it. What are his options? Because yes, he can produce a normal child who will have heightened senses and a lot of chakra. The third said, since you are already getting married, you will have 2 years together before the council can do anything. After that, if you have not produced a child, he will have 1 year to find at least 3 wives to produce an heir who have 2 years to conceive. Adoption is not an option either. If after that 1 year he does not find 3 wives, the council can arrange for him to marry someone of their choosing. It will continue like that until he dies, unable to have children, or an heir is born. It all starts the day he turns 14. Naruto walked over to Ino and held her and said, no matter what, Ino, I will always love you most and first. I don't like it either, but I guess this was what has to happen. Look at it this way. You will be my first. You may have to share me for the next 50 or so years, but after that we will have all of eternity to have the family we wanted. Ino laughed and said, well, at least you can get tips on how to please me forever this way. I think I get the better deal. You will have to put up multiple pleasing women. Everyone laughed while Jiraiya scribbled down on his notebook before being sent sailing through the window. Naruto got a look in his eye and Ino said, what? Naruto said, I am tired of feeling naked. I want to get at Aegean. As he looked at Tsunade, everyone looked at him confused, and she realized what he meant and said, why am I not surprised? Naruto said, you know what it means to me. Ino said, yeah. I remember what you did to that tried to steal it. You stuck a kuni out with an exploding tag up his but with a 5-second fuse. Tsunade said, what are you both talking about, and why are you looking at me like that, Naruto? Naruto said, I am not looking at you. I am looking at it around your neck. I won that cursed necklace when you earned the Rasengan in 1 week and wore it until I was 25 and came back in time. I feel naked without it. Oh, are you still afraid of blood? Because if you are, we need to get over that quick. Tsunade said, you are my grandson, but you don't tell me what to do. I am still strong enough to bend you over my knee and spank you, brat. Naruto laughed and said, man, it's good to have you back, granny. Tsunade eyebrow twitched and Jiraiya walked back in and said as he handed a copy of Ika Paradise Volume 15, this is to help you on your wedding night. Naruto looked at the title and said, already read it. Tsunade said, so you are a pervert? Naruto said, I am not a pervert in the general terms. I only read the stupid books for certain reasons. The first was I was apprentice under him for 3 years while hiding from my life and had to wind up writing 2 volumes just to get him to train me because we did not know until I was 21 that we were related when my mom died in my arms confessing the truth and how she only found out a few months before because of a surgery I had to save my life. Second, I read it because of a lack of education. I was a complete idiot when it came to anatomy. Sakura said, "What do you mean an idiot when it came to anatomy? You made that pervert buster jutsu sexy no jutsu, and everything looked right to me." Naruto said, "Simple. If you ever removed the fog that covered certain areas there was I perfected it years later. And my third reason for reading that stupid book is I used scenes from those books to help me infiltrate a couple of slave rings for missions. As for personal use, I rather have the touch of a real woman than my imagination. Especially when you had a 10,000-year-old pervert in your body that got his jollies from making rude comments and sending perverted images of all of your female friends. That's one thing I am glad he's gone about." And with that sentence you could feel the killer intent coming of both Sakura and Ino. Ino said, "You never mentioned that before, Naruto," as she started rolling up her sleeve like Sakura was. Naruto said, "I never wanted those images. Remember, Ino, I hate perverts and respect women." Sakura said, "So who was it the fox sent images to you of?" Ino said, "Yes, I want to know." Naruto said, "I will tell you the truth so you know the fox was sick, and it was not me. Let's see, Hinata, Temari, both of you, Brianna, Hana, Karina, Anko, Tenten, Princess Yuki Fujikaze." Kakashi, who had been quit, said, "Wait, Naruto, she's dead." Naruto said, "No, she's not, she's the actress Princess Fune. Anyway, who else?" "Oh yeah, I am, Tsunami, Haku, and a few others I don't remember very well." Ino said, "Okay, I don't like it, but I know you are telling the truth. So, how close were the actual uses to the ones he sent?" Naruto said, "Well, I would say by the time he was done editing them you all had racks like Granny." Tsunade said warningly, "What's that supposed to mean?" Naruto said, "When I returned from the 3-year trip with the pervert over there you suffocated me in a hug and had to use medical jutsu and Kyubi to keep me alive. I could not break free because of that monster strength." Shizen said, "Well, I would love to hear more, but we are in the Hokage office and I would like to show Naruto his new home. You are both welcome to come." And so everyone left except the third, who cried at all the paperwork. Naruto ran back in and said, "Hey, raise a tip so you can get out of this office and away from paperwork. Kagebunshin." And then left. The third thought for a moment, and then smiled as he created 5 clones and got to work. Chapter 7. Lemons. In this chapter, when everyone arrived at his where Naruto family lived, he was in awe. He had seen the outside before when Tsunade and Shinzen lived here but never passed the front gate because A, B, and U always stopped him and got them. So now that he saw what was inside the walls where they lived, he was surprised. A beautiful garden with several variety of flowers which were in full bloom but looked like they could use some work trimming were everywhere. Next was a stone walkway around the 2-story house and a relaxation area on the left side with a gazebo, a personal hot spring with a dividing wall for privacy around it, and down the middle. The right side of the house had a mason workshop and an indoor gym area with training dummies, a sparring ring and weight sets. The back of the house was a complete sparring area. There were tall trees, a pond that fed and was fed by the same pond and that a underground feed. A small desert and a level open ground area with training posts. The group was lead into the house and showed a formal dining area that you see 200 in needed. A huge kitchen, an impressive library with several uncommon jutsu and jutsu for the bloodline of wood and water users. Naruto smiled when he saw this and remembered something what happened the Christmas right before they came back. Flashback. Naruto and Ino had been seeing each other for about 3 months and it was Christmas time. Konoha had already been destroyed and they were in Suna preparing for a hit-and-run battle to try and stop any member of Akatsuki to survive. So far they had stopped 3 members by sending a group specialized to take out 1 member. Naruto had been searching for Ino something for Christmas. Ino was currently at the little apartment him and her shared watching over Sakura baby girl Blossom. A name her mother and father both thought would be something to remind her of both of them. Naruto came across an abandoned building near the edge of Suna and saw what looked like a dying little potted plant in the window. The house had been abandoned about 2 weeks now after Gaara ordered most civilians to Snow Country under Princess Yuki protection. Since it was so hard to get to and being isolated like it was, it still had not been attacked. Naruto went inside the building and checked the plant and saw it was still alive. He smiled and took out his canteen of water and gave the plant a little and thought, "I don't know anything about plants, but maybe my healing ability will help you to look better. I guess you are the best I can get, Ino. I hope she like you." And he started channeling a little chakra into it. The plant went from having brown dying leaves to the leaves started getting green Aegean, and a single red rose appeared on it. Naruto smiled and thought, maybe I got Granny Tsunade granddad ability. Too bad no one know how to use it now. If I did, who knows? And so he took the rose plant to Ino for Christmas. Flashback end. Ino saw Naruto smiled and said, "What got you smiling looking in the library of all places?" Naruto just said I was remembering our last Christmas before coming back. Ino smiled and said you never did tell me where you found such a healthy-looking rose plant in the middle of Suna during winter, no less, when almost all civilians had been evacuated to snow. Naruto said you can say I grew it just for you. Ino said that's not fair. You still won't tell me. And she pouted with her arms across her chest. They continued exploring the house and found several bedrooms with a personal bath for every room. They finally found Naruto's room and found all new beds and dresser with no just what clothes he had. Shizen said tomorrow we will go get you some new clothes. I will leave you two alone and let you explore. And she left. Sakura left shortly after they got here when she got a signed copy of Volume 15 from the author of Ika Ika Paradise along with Kakashi getting one also. Tsunade and Jiraiya had stopped in the dining room and started to share some sake. Ino said I got to go home for a little bit but I am coming back to see you after you had a chance to think about everything and take a shower since you are still dirty from the trip back. Naruto walked over and kissed her and said thank you for finally giving me my family. Ino smiled and said I would do anything to make you happy. I will see you in a little while. And she left. Naruto sighed and went to the bathroom to take a long shower and think. When Naruto got out of the shower he dried off and got out a pair of frog boxers and a black sleeveless t-shirt, and laid down on his bed and fell asleep. Ino sat beside Naruto panting and looked into his eyes and was engulfed in a passionate kiss, and then laid beside each other, and telling the other I love you before passing out. About an hour later a knock was heard on the door and woke both up. Ino quickly but sorely went to the bathroom and Naruto grabbed a pair of shorts out of a drawer and unlocked the door before opening it. Sakura was there and said I came by looking for Ino and was told she's here. And walked into the bedroom and looked around. Naruto said she's in the bathroom right now. Sakura nodded and sat down on a chair beside a desk in the room. Naruto quickly started to pick up the clothes on the floor when Sakura was not looking, and when he picked up the teddy he saw Sakura shooting him a look that said, am I interrupting something? Naruto threw everything into his hamper and sat down on the edge of the bed. A few moments later Ino came out walking awkward and said, Sakura, what are you doing here? As she sat on the bed. Sakura said I came to see you and ask if you would tell me no about my future self and a few other things, but I think I came at a bad time if the cloths Naruto picked up was yours. Naruto got up and went to the bathroom. When he was gone Ino sighed and said yeah they were mine. I wanted him and that's what I got. Sakura sat beside Ino blushing and said so how was he in it? Ino said high stamina is a plus and it was great. Sakura leaned over while still blushing and said so how big? Ino blushed and said I say about a 10 to 12, big and strong. It hurt at first because it was mine and his first but it was all worth it. Sakura smiled and said I'm envious. So who am I going to be married to and what else am I like in the future? Ino sighed and said I will tell you because it may not happen since things can and hopefully do change. You marry a man named Rock Lee. Right now his looks are scary because he idolizes his sensei to the point of obsession. Because of you he slowly changes over time and finally get a different haircut and his eyebrows trimmed to look normal. I won't tell you anything else but this. Give up on Sasuke and look for new people. Maybe you and Lee will hook up Aegean, maybe not, but I don't want to see my best friend die Aegean because of some stupid ass. It nearly killed the both of us. Sakura nodded and said I won't make the same mistake this time. Can I ask you something that has bothered me ever since graduation day and now that I hear you mention that? Ino nodded and Sakura said what was Naruto really like before you and him toward me? Ino laughed a little and said to answer that you should realize Naruto had a terrible life before because of the Kyuubi, and only had a real family for a moment before it was gone. He had a crush on you until the age of 15 or 16 because he did love you but learned later that it was the love of a sister. He never knew what different types of love was like until then. He saved you life several times from certain death, and almost raped once when a mission went bad. The bastard that ran that slavering got to meet Kyuubi's power firsthand. Naruto let his emotions out when 4 of the bastard had you held down with chains, and he used 4 tail of power and slaughtered him and his men. When the backup team arrived most of us lost our lunch at the scene. Naruto does not talk about it, but what really changed him was when Temari was killed. She had been a sisterly kind of love to him, and after her death since Gaara was the brother he never had. He realized that was the same for you. Sakura looked down and said is our future really that bad? Ino said only if we failed to change it. Sakura smiled and said so how did you and Naruto really start? He told me he saved you from a snake outside the walls of our village. Ino laughed and said actually that's a pretty good tale of how it happened. Sasuke attacked the village with an army and Naruto by this time was our major powerhouse, and it was before we started seedling. Sasuke used his hidden snake hands to send a viper at me to distract Naruto so he could kill him. Naruto took the bite from me and you broke 6 of Sasuke ribs in one punch when he was distracted. I had already started to like him before that but caused me to fall for him. It was not for several years though before we got together as a couple, but it never got past kissing. Naruto blamed himself for all our friends dying and would not let anyone get too close. Sakura smiled and said, so he really is your knight in shining armor. Whatever happened to Hinata and her mega crush? Naruto, who had came out during the tale of them falling for each other, said I was never an idiot when it came to her crush for me. I just valued my life to act on it back when we were younger. I had words with Hayashi back then after Hinata started using me as a crutch for her emotional strength. He may seem like a bastard, but he really does care for Hinata. It's his counsel you have to watch out for. Hinata was a close friend and will always be, but I don't see any romantic stuff between us because to me she is my little sister, which is very hard when she practically throws herself naked at you, but she is my little sis. Just like you are my older sister Sakura. Before I went on my 3-year training trip, I finally sat down with her and discussed it, and after having her explain it, and Granny Tsunade pumping her full of caffeine and adrenaline to keep her from passing out, I then got her to realize the feeling she had for me was respect and idolism, not love. We never told anyone about it, and she started looking at her teammates, and started to date Shino. She died the day they were going to secretly get married so the council would not find out. Shino was cruel to the Kabuto for that. He sucked him dry of chakra, while having his bugs eat him from the inside out. Sakura said, we have got some sadistic friends. I am glad I am not their enemy. Ino smiled and said, so anything else you want to know? Sakura said, what are you planning on doing with Sasuke? Naruto said, if he follows the same path and flees the village, kill him. He will be the cause of over half our friends dying. His brother and his organization the other half. Sakura nods and said, well, I guess I will go now. Ino said, I will go with you. I don't think I can walk straight and we live close to each other. See you tomorrow, Naruto. And she kisses him before leaving. Naruto lays down on his bed and said, what a day. Before going back to sleep. Chapter 8. The next day Naruto got up and after getting ready came downstairs and found his new family at the table eating, saw a plate for him waiting. Naruto sat down and said, so how is everyone today? Everyone looked at him and smiled, and Shizen said, Naruto, can I ask you something? Naruto waited till he swallowed his food and shook his head yes while looking at her. Shizen said, what do you really think about us? Truthfully. Naruto closed his eyes for a moment and then said as he looked at them, truthfully, I love you all. I know it's weird me knowing you all different but you not knowing me. Grandma, you were like the aunt who would spoil me when she could and nobody was looking. Everyone in the village found out the hard way. Never call me demon when you were around because you had to build a whole wing to the hospital just for victim of your wrath, and I made you put a few gray hairs in your genjutsu from the hell I caused you. We may have not known then we were related until it was too late, but you were and are my family that I love. Shizen got up and hugged Naruto before crying. After a while she finally stopped and they finished their dinner. Shizen said after they finished cleaning up, let's go get you some new clothes with your clan symbol. They all left together and headed into town. They stopped by the Yamanko flower shop and picked up Ino. As they were leaving, Tsunade said, Ino, why are you walking with a limp today? Ino looked at Naruto and said, I pushed myself too hard yesterday, and I am sore today. Tsunade said, I understand. That's common anyways. She then did a few seals and her hand started to glow green and touched Ino's stomach and legs before saying that should help. I suggest going easier from now on. More enjoyable and less aches. Jiraiya laughed, and Shizen shot Ino a look that said, what are you doing with my son, and we need to talk. They finally made it to the Wolfclaw weapon shop and walked in. The man behind the counter said, hi, my name is Dustin and welcome to my family shop. How can I help you? Tsunade said, we are here to get Naruto here some new cloths and supplies. Dustin smiled and said, sure, just help yourself, and if you need anything ask. Shizen said, go ahead and get whatever you want. They started looking around the shop and Naruto stopped and said, can you make custom weapons? Everyone looked at him and Dustin said, yes, I can. I just need you to write down what you need and I can make anything. Naruto nodded and picked up a blank scroll and a paintbrush and started writing. Everyone else left him alone and looked around the shop. 5 minutes later he stooped and rolled up the scroll and said, I need the weapon on this scroll made in the quantity order with the seals engraved into it, and please do not tell anyone the info on it besides whoever has to help with them. The man nodded and opened the scroll and dropped it, and said, are you messing with me, kid? Naruto said, no. I am serious. I take it from the look you know what those are for, so I will just say please be careful with that info if you can make them. Dustin said, I can make them, that's not the problem because I done them before. I just never expected someone to know them. Can I catch your name? Naruto said, my name is Naruto. Shizen said, Kazama, Naruto Kazama? Dustin said, now I know why you know Haration. Everyone but Ino stopped and looked at Naruto when they heard that, and Naruto said, I don't. I never could do it right because the kunia I had most of the seals damaged and I had to start from almost scratch to create a version of it. If I had the original seals I might have been as good as Dad. Mine only let me go about 100 feet between kunia to work. Dustin nodded and said I can make these seals on the scroll for you, but I still have the master mold with the original seals still intact in a secret vault. I could make you some to try and master the harem then. Naruto said, can you make 200 of the ones I wrote, and put the appropriate seals into both sealing scroll and make me 10 of the other ones? Ino said, what exactly is the harem you are talking about? Jiraiya said, it's the jutsu that earned the Yodame the nickname Yellow Flash. Ino said, oh? If Naruto draw those strength kunia he used before, then his was a red flash, but it ate his chakra like a kid in a candy store. After doing it almost 200 times he was almost dead from exhaustion. Naruto went throughout the ninja clothing and found some black shinobi clothes similar to his shape-shift clothes he has on, but notices these were better with built-in holsters for kunia, shurikens, scrolls, and still have room for more. Naruto decided to try them on, and he also found a jacket with a strap for his sword. He got a few soldier pills packs and first aid packs with blood replenishing and clotting pills and some medical wrapping. He went to the changing room to change. When he came out in a pair of black ninja pants and a tight black fishnet shirt and a black ninja vest halfway zipped over it with the jacket on also unzipped with his sword on his back, he noticed that Ino was standing there waiting to see him and Tenten was beside he. He smiled and said, so how do I look? Ino said, good enough to eat. This is Tenten, her family owns this place. Tenten, I would like you to meet Naruto, my fiancé. Tenten had a small amount of drool hanging and after Ino snapped her fingers said, I think you were in my class 2 years back. Naruto said, yeah I was. I goofed around too much back then. Ino saw the look on Tenten's face and knew it well and said, I think that should be all for today, Naruto. Let's get you a few more copies of those and have them altered. Naruto nodded and went back inside to change back and Ino said, like what you see, Tenten. Tenten blushed and said, I don't know what you are talking about, Ino. Ino said, relax, I know he's a great guy. That's why I am going to marry him when we get old enough. Tenten said, you're lucky? Ino smiled and said, thanks. Truthfully, do you like him? Tenten said, he's cute and from what I remember he was a decent guy, but I don't know much about him. Why? Ino said, I know this sounds odd, but you see, we already found out I can have kids for a reason, and Naruto was told that since he comes from such a special family he has to marry more than one girl and have children. Naruto does not want to do it because he is faithful to me, but the council will force him to, so I decided that I would have to find someone who is nice and decent enough for him that would treat him right, and since I knew you for a few years now and saw you drooling earlier, I would give you a shot to get to know him and maybe one day marry him. He can't go against the council, and if he does not follow the rules and produce an heir, the council will pick some slut off the street and force him to marry her. Tenten was stunned and said, so let me get this straight. Because of his family background he has to have a child, and since you can't have one you are pimping him out. Ino laughed and said in a manner of speaking, yes. So what do you say? Tenten thought for a moment and said, I will agree to date him once and go from there. If I don't like him I will back out. If I do, then fine. They watched as Naruto put his cloths on the counter and Shizen and Tsunade explained what they wanted on his cloths and paid. Both girls walked up to them and Ino said, tonight at 6, okay? Tenten nodded as they all left. Dustin said, what was that all about? Tenten said, I got a date tonight at 6 with Naruto. Dustin said, I thought the way that Ino was all over him she was with him. Tenten said, she is, but since they are getting married she is trying to solve a problem before it starts. Dustin said, what? Tenten said she can't have kids and because of who his family is he has to have children, so she decided she would find him the right woman before the Kuso pick up some random girl off the street. Dustin said, and you're okay with that? Tenten said, I don't know. That's why I agreed to the date. Naruto said as he was walking with his family and Ino to get some ramen, so what was that all about? Ino said, you have a date with Tenten tonight at 6. Everyone looked at her like she was crazy and Naruto said, what? Ino sighed and said, I know you, Naruto. You would defy the council and get in trouble and still have to marry someone of their choosing, so I decided I would find someone who is a good person who we both could get along with and set you up on a date so you can get to know them and them you and everyone wins. Tsunade said to Shizen, looks like your future daughter-in-law is the take charge kind of woman. Shizen sighed and grabbed the notebook from Jiraiya and said, you are not putting my son in that damn book. Sarah walked up to Ino and said, honey, I need you to look after the shop for me. Ino said, why can't Dad? Sarah said, your dad is in the hospital Aegean, and I got to go buy another broom. Ino burst out laughing and said, you used that Aegean, what did he do this time? Sarah said, he said I was not as thin as I was when I was younger, so I used that 1,000,000 years of broomstick jutsu you taught me. Everyone burst out laughing and Tsunade said, how did you learn that, Ino? I know they taught it after I created the first version for the pervert over here, but I say that's a new one. Ino said, from before Naruto taught me by trying it on me. I learned the 1,000 years of pain was used on him by Kakashi during the bell test. I beat the hell out of him for that, and made him learn about female anatomy from you and those books. Sarah said as she walked with them, I see you are not limping anymore. What happened anyways? Jiraiya being the pervert he is said from my guess, her and Naruto acted like rabbits. Naruto said I taught Ino that version but I created my own version. It involves a kunai, an exploding tag in 5 seconds. Our personal life is not your concern. Jiraiya paled and waved it off and said everyone's personal life is my concern. I have my fans to think about. Naruto suddenly disappeared and reappeared behind Jiraiya and shoved a kunai up his but with a flash tag instead of an exploding tag. Jiraiya sailed through the air and dissolved into rock as the tag exploded. The real Jiraiya landed beside Naruto and said I give you a 8.5 on execution but the land and I only give you a 6.9. Naruto sighed and said I thought I would at least get a 9.0 on execution. Oh well, there's always next time. Everyone laughed and Ino said bye and Sarah went to the hospital Aegean. They finally got some ramen and then went home to relax. Naruto started to plan for tonight and decided just for a picnic in the park. Chapter 9. Warning, do not drink anything during this chapter or you will have to wash your computer screen. You have been warned. The real Sasuke comes out. 2 weeks have passed since Team 7 got back from Wave and Naruto had his date with Tenten. He had already signed the Toad contract as well as Slug to make Tsunade happy. He spent a lot of time getting to know his family better and hear about his dad and other relatives. Tsunade discovered never to bet against Naruto because he will win. Flashback. Naruto had just picked up his weapons from the Wolfclaw weapon shop and went back to the Kazama estates. News had done spread across town about his engagement to Ino, but Noon knew how they found out since both Ino and Sakura had kept quiet. Naruto started practicing with his kunai and after an hour he was able to transport from each kunai as long as they were 100 feet apart or closer. Naruto then tried with the 10 original Haraishin no Jutsu kunai and could not perform anything. He tried for about 4 hours with no results when Tsunade walked out and said, "So how's it going, brat?" Naruto said, "Not good. My kunai design work like I used to, so I am confident in them, but they still eat too much chakra. I am working with the originals now but nothing works." Tsunade said, "Your dad was a genius and Noon could figure it out. Just give up already." Naruto said, "No, I won't give up because I will figure it out. It's a promise and I never go back on my word." Tsunade smiled and said, "You are just wasting your time, kid. You just don't have what it takes to do it." Naruto got mad and said, "You want to bet?" Tsunade, not one to back down from a bet, said, "Sure, what's the odds?" Naruto said, "If I can perform the Haraishin no Jutsu in 48 hours you have to give me that necklace." Tsunade thought for a moment and said, "Fine, but if I win you have to quit calling me old." Naruto said, "Deal, you old bag." Tsunade I twitched as she left to go get some sake. 24 hours later Naruto had worked out the night and was exhausted and not figured out how to do it yet when he fell on the ground asleep. Shizen came out and picked him off the ground and took him inside the house. Naruto woke 12 hours later and ate real quick before going back out to work on it. Tsunade came out and said, "Give it up. You can't do it." Naruto said, "What's the matter, you old bag? You scared I will do it?" Tsunade sighed and said, "I swear you are just like your dad was. Stubborn and proud." Naruto smiled and said, "Damn straight." He then stopped for a moment and looked at the kunai in his hand. After a moment he started laughing. Tsunade said, "What's so funny?" Naruto said, "I am an idiot. I have been doing it wrong this whole time. I have been channeling my chakra into the kunai before throwing it, and then force my chakra into my body to trigger it to work." Tsunade said, "What does that have to do with anything?" Naruto said, "Simple. The secret is a seal I just noticed. It's a storage seal, a simple storage seal. All you have to do is send enough chakra into the kunai to reach the storage seal. Once it's full, that's it. Once the kunai hits something and the storage seal is triggered." He then threw the kunai and when it hit the tree, a yellow and red flash appeared and Naruto was standing by the kunai. Tsunade said, "How did you do that?" Naruto said, "It's a summon seal. Whoever's chakra is in the storage seal will be summoned when it is triggered. The user does not have to channel chakra into his or her body. It's all preset." Tsunade said, "But that would mean that after the first time someone could just use chakra and use it." Naruto said, "No, there is a signature seal hid in all the other. Mine have it also, so I recognize it. It is keyed to whoever channels chakra into it first. Anyone else's chakra will just pass by the storage seal. And you know what the best part is? I don't have to worry about chakra exhaustion Aegean because it's already in the kunai. Well, I guess I won the bet." Tsunade smiled and hugged Naruto after giving him her necklace. Flashback end. He has also had several more dates with Tenten but laughs when he remembers what happened. Flashback. Naruto and Tenten were in the park sharing a picnic lunch Naruto had made and were just talking when Sakura showed up and first thing she thought was he was cheating. She charged right up and said, "How can you be cheating on Ino after everything you've been through? It was just yesterday you both had sex. Are you just using her and then dropping her?" Naruto stood up and tried to say something when Sakura punched him in the face and stormed off to see Ino, but not before turning to Tenten and said slut as she left. Naruto sighed and said that girl has got to control her other personality. Tenten said so she suffers from MPD, multiple personality disorder. Naruto nodded and said yeah, one does all the talking and the other does all the action. That's how you can tell which is in charge. Tenten laughed and said so, at least she's not as bad as my teammate Lee. Naruto laughed and hinged into Lee and said Sakura my sweet, I will protect you with my life. Will you go out with me and spread the power of youth? And drop the henge. Tenten was rolling on the ground laughing. She finally calmed down and said how do you know how Lee looks and sounds? Naruto said who doesn't, but he is okay if you can get him away from Guy. Niji though needs that stick removed from his ass. Fate this and fate that. I swear if he farts he would say fate decided it would happen. Tenten laughed Aegean and said you act like you know them your whole life as well as me, but you may just barely know each other. How is that? Naruto sighed and said I learned how to read people a long time ago, and I know a lot more about people than they think I do. When everyone ignores you they tell a lot without realizing you're there and hear it. Tenten smiled and saw a shooting star and said make a wish. Naruto said I only have one wish. To protect all my friends and family, and they all live a long happy life. Flashback end. It was a good date, and they have had 2 more dates with Ino. Sakura told Tenten and Naruto she was sorry after she found out the truth. Currently Team 7 was on their way through Snow Country protecting Fujike's Yuki. The Hokage remember as well as Kakashi when Naruto mentioned she was the actual princess of Snow Country. They had already met the Nadar in battle and things went just like before. Naruto was standing on the tracks as the train that chased them through the tunnel stopped. Naruto knows what was fixing to happen and the people who would die quickly summoned Silga and said I want you to destroy that train before they attack. Silga blasts a stream of water out of her mouth that freezes when it hits the train, stopping the doors from opening. She then goes and swipes the trail with one of her gant paws, knocking it off the track and down the hill. Naruto then releases her and watches as men exit the train and run. He then hears a scream behind him and sees Yuki already in the airship and can't reach her this time. Naruto quickly starts running on the ground following the airship. Kakashi screamed for him to stop, but it fell on deaf ears. Kakashi said well we don't have a choice. We will have to track Naruto later. For now let's get you all to safety. We will then go after Naruto and save the princess. They won't kill her while I have this. As he holds out the hexagon crystal. Naruto was running through the woods by treetop following the airship as it took Yuki away. He travels for several hours and the airships slowly get further away every minute. Every moment feel that fate of his one-time friend is slipping away. After running to the point of exhaustion he finally sees the airship land at a castle. Naruto decided to rest a little while as he collapses from exhaustion of staying warm, summoning and chasing after the airship for several in snow-covered trees. Naruto awoke to a little pug dog named Puckin sitting on his chest. Puckin said he is finally awake. Kakashi. Before he disappears is a puff of smoke. Kakashi sighs and said you're lucky we found you or you might have died Naruto. Sakura walked over and hit him and said I don't want to have to tell Ino that you died for being stupid. Sasuke just humped in his usual attitude. Naruto said sorry for worrying you. I tracked them to that castle west of here. The airship landed before I passed out. Kakashi nodded and said okay, hey, race the plan? Naruto, you and Sakura are to come in from the east side of the castle quietly and try to find and rescue the princess. Sasuke and I will cause a distraction at the front gate. With that the 2 teams split. Naruto and Sakura made it to the east side of the castle and looked for any way to get in. Naruto looked up and saw a window about 400 feet up and the entire wall was covered in ice. Naruto looked at Sakura and said I can get us in, but you want like how, and you will have to trust me. Sakura said I trust you. So how do we get it? Naruto's shape shifted into his true form, and his nails grew, and his tail appeared. Naruto then grabbed Sakura with 5 of his tails and jabbed a clawed hand into the ice. He repeated this Aegean and Aegean, slowly making it up the wall. Sakura, not liking being carried like this with one tail per arm and leg and another around her waist, started to squirm. Naruto stops his climb and whispers please stop moving or I might drop you. Sakura stopped, and they continued up the wall. Once they made it to the window they climbed in and Naruto changed back to look normal. Sakura used her radio and said we're inside, starting to look now. And they started to search. Sasuke and Kakashi were chasing 2 women across the bridge. Kakashi grabbed one woman and pinned her to the castle wall and started to grab at her cloths while Sasuke did the same to the other. Both women screamed for help. A pair of snow ninja appeared and grabbed Sasuke and Kakashi away from the girls and punched both while the women continued to scream. When the punches hit both, Sasuke and Kakashi disappeared and the 2 snow ninja collapsed from being hit from behind as the 2 women changed into the real Sasuke and Kakashi. Sasuke looked at Kakashi and said I can't believe you made me do that. Kakashi said at least now you could say you know what it's like to feel like a woman. You still can't say you've been with one though. That will be next time. And they both went inside the castle. Naruto never did like just looking, decided the frontal assault would be better, and created 100 cage buncheons and had half henge into Sakura and start looking for Yuki. Kakashi and Sasuke were heading down some stairs when Naruto and Sakura came running by them and Naruto said not down there. Kakashi stoked, and then they came back by and said not up there. A few minutes later another set came out of a hallway and said not down the hall. Suddenly 10 pairs of Naruto and Sakura appeared at the same time and said any luck. And looked at Kakashi and Sasuke and said together, don't just stand there, help us find her. Together at the same time. Sasuke grabs his hair in his hands and starts pulling out chunks of hair before grabbing a kunai and starts destroying all the pairs, screaming, who's your daddy? Who's the bitch now? Die little whore. Can you feel it, huh? Kakashi's sweat drops and slowly backs away. Naruto stopped in his tracks and Sakura said what's wrong? Naruto said Sasuke is fucked up. He is killing all my clones and saying some crazy stuff. Sakura said you already told me Sasuke screwed up, what's new? Sasuke came running around the corner without his pants screaming you want some of this. A huge door opens into the hallway and Dato looks out to see what's going on and Sasuke screamed oh here another bitch for big Sasuke pimp mobile. And then charges at Dato. Dato runs and hides behind Yuki. Sasuke said she not my type and grabs Yuki and throws her into the air. Kakashi appears and catches her but drops the hexagon crystal. Dato sees it and runs and bends over to grab it. Sasuke appeared behind him and said I knew you would like this. Dato rolled to the side to get away and kicked Sasuke in the nuts. Sasuke fell to the floor and said if you wanted to go first you just had to ask. Before he fell to the floor asleep. Dato got up and ran out of the room for his life. Naruto, who saw this, ran after him only to hear Sasuke say something that stopped him in his tracks. Get away from him, Ino, he's my man, not yours. Naruto ran over to Sasuke and drawed back and field goal kicked him as hard as he could and Sasuke flew across the room and hit a wall. Kakashi saw this and said I would have went for the 2-point conversion. Naruto turned and ran after Dato. Sakura walked over to Kakashi and said what the hell happened. Kakashi said I think we broke him somehow, and we don't have a warranty. Sakura said do you think we can fix him? Kakashi said I don't have any duct tape. Naruto was chasing Dato down the hall and was catching up but not fast enough. He quickly summoned 2 medium-sized two-tailed foxes that were running with him. Naruto said the man ahead of me am chasing, I need you to catch and stop him for me. The 2 foxes charged after Dato, and each bit into his legs' hamstrings to stop him. Naruto appeared above him with a Rasengan and drove it into his back since he was face down. Dato died from the attack. Naruto grabbed the crystal and walked back to the others. Sasuke stirred a moment later with a smile on his face and said I had a great dream. He tried to stand up and felt hurt and sore. He then looked around and said I guess it was not a dream. He then looked off into space dreamily. He then said I wonder if it was as good for Naruto as it was for me. Naruto, who had walked into the room a few seconds before, heard that and quickly grabbed the closest female, who happened to be Yuki, and started rocking back and forward. Yuki, who was also terrified of Sasuke now, just comforted Naruto. 1 week later, back in Konoha at the Kazama estate in Naruto bedroom. Ino walked in and saw Naruto rocking back and forward and some beautiful woman holding him. Ino said, can I ask why you are holding Naruto like that? Yuki said he suffered extreme emotional shock on his mission. His job was to protect me from my uncle, which he did. His teammate Sasuke went nuts and caused this. He won't let me get farther than 5 feet away before going into shock. Ino sighed and said I think I can help him but you will have to hold him. Yuki said I don't mind. He's a nice and cute guy. Are you his sister? Ino laughed and said I will tell you after I get out of his mind. Ino entered Naruto's mind and he collapsed, and a few minutes later she came out and said you weren't kidding. I sealed his memories of it so he should not remember. That was some crazy stuff and he would not let you even go to the bathroom alone. At least he respected your privacy. So tell me, what do you think of Naruto? Chapter 10. Team 7 had been put on temporary medical leave with 2 members having mental breakdowns. The week flew by and a lot of things happened. The Hokage finally agreed to let Tsunade start her 4-man team with a medic, so she has currently started teaching all female ninja under the age of 25 medical skills. Shizen had been spending most of her time helping Naruto with the last of the dependency he grew while in Snow Country. Mostly it was getting to know the real Naruto, likes, dislikes, hobbies, dreams, and they made an agreement not to look at his and Ino other life experiences since they were young Aegean but create new ones here. It took a few days, but after they spent time together, Shizen, Jiraiya, and Tsunade noticed that Naruto still kept a emotions mask on. They finally got him to break it with help from his future wives. Naruto was currently in his family library reading when Shizen came in to see him. She sat down beside him and said, so, what are you reading? Naruto said I was reading one of the first scrolls on the Jutsu growth and Mokutan Hijitsu, Jukai Koten, would release secret technique, birth of dense woodland. I wanted to try and see if I might be able to do it because of something that happened once. Shizen said I am proud of you. Naruto stopped reading and looked at her, and said thanks mom. That means a lot to me. Shizen said so you want to go outside and try those jutsu. Naruto nodded and rolled up the scroll and headed outside. Once they made it to the backyard he performed the hand seals for growth, and tried it but nothing happened. He tried Aegean and the same. Shizen walked over and said why don't you try what happened before and see if it worked. Naruto knelt down and put his hand on a small tree and channeled chakra into it, and said growth. The tree started growing bigger and taller. It kept growing until Naruto stopped. Shizen ran over to him and said we got to show Tsunade. She then ran inside and a few moments later Shizen and Tsunade both came out. When they got out Tsunade said what's so important. Naruto walked to another small tree and repeated what he did, and the tree grew Aegean. Tsunade fell on her butt and looked at Naruto and said looks like you have some of grandfather's bloodline. Naruto smiled and said I only can do it like this, and it's different than what was on the scroll. Tsunade said perhaps you will have to do it different, or perhaps someone forgot to include something in the scroll. Anyways good job brat. Tsunade and Jiraiya wedding was a small affair. Flashback. The third was standing in the backyard of the Kazama household. The wedding was not a big affair. The only people present besides the bride and groom was Shizen, Naruto, Ino, Tenten, Inoichi, Sarah, Dustin, Yuki, Sakura, and Kakashi. The third said dearly beloved we are. Tsunade said this damn dress is hot so just cut to the chase. The third sighed and said do you Tsunade take? Tsunade said yes. Jiraiya said don't ask, you already know I said yes. The third said then I pronounce you Mr. and Mrs. Kazama. You may kiss the bride. Jiraiya and Tsunade kissed, and he grabbed her ass and she sent him sailing through the air. Kakashi said so why did they both take the Kazama name? Naruto said she told me it's because the first and second erase all traces of our family real last name for protection, and since they both came up with the name Kazama for dad when they hid him in the orphanage to protect him from fear enemies they decided to both take it in memory of him. Kakashi smiled and said makes sense, so which of you are catching the flowers? The girls got into a pretty big fight between Sakura, Ino, Yuki, and Tenten. Somehow weapons and ninjutsu got involved and the flowers got destroyed in the fight. Flashback end. Yuki had decided to stay in Konoha because Snow Country just brought up too many memories for now. She is still the princess but she let her personal guard and best friend who made her return run the country for now since he knows the condition they're better than her. She did start the spring for her home country, and they rejoined said and accepted her request to be an official diplomat to her country and Konoha. Ino and Tenten both got closer and helped Yuki adjust to Konoha life better. Ino had requested from her family to let her move in with Naruto, and they agreed for different reasons. Her mom agreed because her little girl was all grown up and wanted to live in the world on her own. Her dad agreed so the chance of Ino teaching her mom another jutsu like the broom handle were slim. Tenten dad was not going to allow it but after a little persuasion he agreed. Flashback. Dustin stood with his arms crossed and said I am not going to allow it until you are married. Tsunade and Jiraiya who came by to make a surprise order for Naruto saw this and Tsunade said what if I can assure you that Tenten will be marrying Naruto? Dustin said how can you ensure that? Jiraiya said that was what we came to see you about today. As the current head of the Kazama family we wanted to go ahead and have you make some custom wedding rings for us with the Haration engraved into it. We need 4 rings made and on the top of the rings we need the Kazama clan symbol engraved. Dustin said I still don't follow and why 4? Tsunade said the surprise is after the Chunin exam Naruto, Ino, Tenten if she wants to, and Yuki if she wants to will be getting married. The council has already started to push since someone spotted Naruto using his bloodline they want heirs as fast as possible so they are forcing it. As for the last ring, they already heard about Ino not able to have kids and said he would have to find at least one more or they will. He has 2 years to find one. Dustin said what bloodline does he have? Tsunade said the first with manipulation ability. Dustin sighed and said well, you said you wanted to date him and I will support you either way, so what do you want? Tenten said I want to marry him dad. He's a great guy from everything I can tell. Dustin said very well, I support you daughter and I know your mom would also if she was alive. I guess that means I need to hire a new helper since you won't be coming by. Tenten said why is that? Just because I am getting married and someday have kids don't mean I can't still help you. Jiraiya said also I wanted to inform you as we are going to inform the Yamanko flower shop if either of you need any help, physically or economically we will help you out since we are all family so our legacy will have proud and strong families. Dustin smiled and said so what you waiting for Tenten? I am not getting any younger. Everyone laughed. Flashback end. Ino took the room beside Naruto's on the left, Tenten on the right, and Yuki, since she was new and did not have a place to stay, took the room across the hall from Naruto. The entire family lived as the west wing of the house. The east side, Shizen and Tsunade, turned into classrooms for medical training. Because of Team 7 being down Team 9, Guy's team took the mission to T-Country. Ino told Tenten she would take care of Naruto for her while she was gone. Sakura had her first run-in with them. Flashback. Tenten was in classroom at the Kazama house with Hinata, Sakura, and Ino, based on age and ranks. Suddenly a shout of dynamic entry was heard and the door to the room was busted of the henges, and Guy was standing there, and said, "Oh, my beautiful student Tenten. We have a most youthful mission for the Hokage. Meet at the south gate in an hour." Suddenly a carbon copy of Guy came in and said, "Gia-sensei. I was able to inform Niji about our youthful mission." And they both hugged and a sunset with ocean appeared in the background. Lee. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy-sensei. Lee. Guy-sensei. They finally broke apart, and shout of dynamic exit, and Guy was gone. Tsunade came to see what was up and screamed, "Guy, you're paying for that door." Lee started to leave, but he saw Sakura and went over to her, and said, "What is your name?" Sakura said, "Sakura." Lee said, "Oh, a beautiful name for a beautiful goddess. Sakura, my sweet, I will protect you with my life. Will you go out with me and spread the power of youth?" Tenten started rolling on the floor laughing and said, "I can't believe it, word for word." Naruto said Lee would do that word for word. Sakura freaked and said, "Get a haircut, and shave those eyebrows and get a new outfit that not spandex." Lee then shouted, "Yes, I will do this, and if I still cannot get Sakura to go out with me, I shall shave all my hair off and run 100 laps around Kanha. If I cannot do that, then I will." Tenten said, "Lee, the mission?" Lee screamed, "Yes, can't be late for the power of youth." And then he left. Tenten right behind him. Sakura looked at Ino and said, "Is that the Lee you told me about?" Ino nodded and Sakura said, "Where do they keep the sake in this place?" Hinata giggled and finally composed herself as both girls looked at her. Ino decided to have a sisterly talk. She said, "Hinata, are you mad that I am with Naruto as well as Yuki and Tenten?" Hinata started putting her fingers together and said, "Why would I be?" Ino said, "You had a crush on him for years." Hinata said, "Who told you?" Ino said, "It easy to pick up. I want you to actually think before answering this next question. Tell me, Hinata, do you love Naruto as a person, or is it because he inspires you to be more than you are, with his self-confidence, and never back down or go back on his word?" Hinata though for a moment, and said, "Since I don't actually talk to him much, I don't really know him as a person. I do see him as everything else you said." "Why?" Ino said, "Naruto explained this to me and Sakura and is planning on it also, so I will save him from doing it." Hinata, you look at him as a big brother, not a boyfriend or lover. You do have those thoughts, but you force yourself to do it, and that's why you faint around him. You respect him for showing you how you should live since your family makes it hard. Naruto is actually smarter than people think. He told me about why he never said anything before now. Hinata was looking down and said, "Why? Is it because I'm too weak?" Naruto, who was standing at the door, said, "No, it's because my little sister, I talked to your dad back when I first noticed the crush, and he asked me to try and be a role model for you. Your family council had your dad over a barrel and still does. I hope to help with that, but I don't have the power right now. The caged bird seal. Your dad is afraid the council will put it on you or your sister. By all rights, Hanabi should have had it put on her at the age of 3, but since your father has made you think you are weaker than you are, he has sat the council where they can't put it on either. I agreed to be your role model because I always felt you were like a little sister. That's why I ignored the crush you had on me and acted like an idiot over it. Do you understand?" Hinata thought for a moment, and said, "So the love I have for you is a brotherly love?" Naruto said, "Yeah. If it was not, then you would not have to force your mind and body to fight each other, which causes you to faint. When you find your one true love, it won't matter what is wrong in the world. All that matters is you and that person. You can actually be you and not what people think you are." Hinata smiled and said, "I understand. When did you get so wise, brother?" Naruto said, "Damn it, just because I am an idiot when it comes to books does not mean I am not smart the rest of the time." And he stormed off with everyone else laughing. Flashback end. Sasuke was still in Ibiki office with Enko after a week. Ibiki had already been put on medical leave for emotional stress. Enko sighed and went to the Hokage. When Enko arrived, the third said, "So is there anything that can be done for him?" Enko said, "I can only think of one thing to do, but you would have to find someone willing to do it." The third said, "In this village I don't think that would be a problem. What is it?" Enko said, "Basically the only thing I could think is for someone to fuck him. If his brain is stuck as being an emo, then either he needs a woman's touch, or you can kiss the Sharingan bye-bye." The third said, "I will see what I can do. Any particular type of woman you would suggest?" Enko though for a moment, and said I would say someone into bondage because he is going to have to be chained down for it to work. The third thought and said very well. I will consider it. Dismissed. The third looked at Kakashi and said, so what do you think, Kakashi? Kakashi thought for a moment and said, I think you should just have Inoichi go in and block the memories of everything that happened from entering the castle to now. The third said, I agree. That's better than any other options. Now let's see what Kakashi really was thinking. Sasuke was currently on a table naked and had both his arms tied to the side and his legs tied also. He had a gag over his mouth so he could not speak. He was in a solid white room with fluorescent lights. The door opened and a woman with 2 red tattoos on her face walked in with a backpack. The woman said, my name is Emilia. I was sent here to re-educate your mind and body in the ways of women. And with that she reached into her bag and pulled out a horse whip. Smack. Smack smack. Smack smack smack. Sasuke's Sharingan appeared for the first time. Emilia said, so I see you got your eyes now and remember everything. That's good. She then proceeded to strip and have her way with him. Every time he tried to protest he go whipped Aegeon. If he did not do what she said, another whip. 3 hours later Emilia came out of the room and said, well, I done all I can do. He has the 2nd level of the Sharingan now, so that's good. If you ever need me again you know where to find me. And with that she left. A few minutes later Sasuke came out and saw Kakashi standing there and said, I want to go home now. Kakashi said, how do you feel? Sasuke looked at Kakashi and flashed his Sharingan and said, I feel like a man. Kakashi smiled. End of Kakashi Fantasy. It had been a week since Naruto first learned he does possess a little of the wood element. He has been practicing the only 2 wood elemental jutsu in the house and can perform both but not very good, and he had to actually be touching the trees for it to work, so it won't be very useful in battle, but it would help with prisoners. Even though Ino and Yuki had moved in, he has not gotten to see them very much. The third allowed Yuki to start teaching etiquette to first-year female students at the academy. This is on top of her bi-monthly council meetings she has with the other freaking allied country diplomats with the village council, so she is gone a lot. Ino has also been hard to get see. Her family has still had her working at her family shop with the new inventory. Flashback. Tsunade was looking at the ground of the Kazama estate, and Ino had just returned from working at her family shop, and Tsunade said, Ino, can I have a word with you? Ino stopped and said, yes, Tsunade-sama. Tsunade sighed and said, Ino, how many times do I have to tell you, since you are going to be family soon you can just call me Nekken so I won't feel so old. Anyways, how would your flower shop like some of the rare breeds we have growing here at our compound? I need someone to work on the gardens and I really don't want to hire a gardener. You know how much Naruto likes his privacy. Ino said, I know, and that's one of the reasons I love him, but yeah, I can work on the gardens here and use the flowers for the flower shop. Nekken. Tsunda smiled and said, just tell your parents they can keep the profits, and if they ever need any help to let us know, because our family is not well known for it, but we have enough money in accounts to buy almost all of Fire Country, but unlike other clans we don't flaunt it. I want you to make sure all our descendants know this. Ino smiled a sad smile and said, you can count on me. Oh, before I forget. If you see Naruto before I do, my dad went in and put a buffer seal around Sasuke memories of what happened in the council and has been returned to active duty starting in 2 days. Poor dad had an episode like Naruto did when he came out and would not let go of mom for anything. I just wished I would have thought of the cure for Naruto like mom did for dad. Tsunade, not missing a chance to learn some new medical treatment, said, so tell me, what is this cure she came up with? Ino laughed and looked straight in Tsunade's eyes and said she screwed him. They both laughed. Flashback end. Team 9 had just walked into the village gates very tired. Gia said, I want all of you to go to the hospital and get a physical and checked out. You showed your youthfulness on this mission. I am proud and decided to allow you to enter the Chunin exams next week. Until then you are all free. And he went to the Hokage office. Lee said as they all left for the hospital, I still can't believe that unyouthful man had the legendary Raijin sword. Tenten said, I know, I still can't believe what you did, Niji. Niji said coldly, it was fated to happen. Flashback. Ide was on the ground panting as the missing leaf ninja stood over him preparing to kill him with the Raijin sword when Tenten threw a kunai at his legs, forcing him to jump into the air. Lee appeared behind him and kicked him even higher and proceeded to use the leaf shadow dance on him. The nin used the speed from the attack to swing himself on a tree branch to fly back into the air for a soft landing on the ground. Niji appeared under him and got into the gentle fist position and attempted to close of his chakra holes but missed the ones in his right leg and instead shut of chakra to his crotch. Guy appeared after dealing with the other 3 ninja and did the only youthful thing. He gave him a quick death. Flashback end. Tenten laughed and said, fate my ass, you missed, and that the whole point. Lee said, Tenten, that is most unyouthful of you. Though that does bring me to ask you a question. What made you quit being a member of Niji fan club? Tenten blushed and said I met a better man who actually appreciates me and is from a loving family that is growing. Niji said if what you say is true then fate was kind to you. Lee, getting the wrong idea, started screaming as he said, oh, I did not, you had done such unyouthful things, Tenten. To be with child already. I must defeat this man that would deflower such a youthful person. If I cannot defeat him I shall punch a log 1,000 times. If I cannot do that I shall walk around the village on my hands 10 times. And he took off, forgetting about going to the hospital. Tenten put her hand to her face and said, why me? Niji said because fate wanted to be cruel. Tenten became enraged and said, that's it. Where the hell is it? Niji said, where is what? Tenten with a twitch said, that damn fate kunia, that is up you ass. Niji said, I don't know what you are talking about, and entered the hospital. Tenten followed him and walked up to the nurse's desk and said, our sensei sent us here for a physical. Just then Lee came barging into the hospital screaming, Tenten, where are you? He then saw her and said, Tenten, tell me the name of the unyouthful man you are seeing. Tenten said, Lee, stop. I am seeing Naruto Kazama. Lee said, yes, I will go and beat Naruto for deflowering a youthful girl like you. And took off. The nurse said, so you need a physical and a pregnancy test. Right this way. And started to leave, not noticing the twitch Tenten had. Lee ran from the hospital searching for this Naruto Kazama who Tenten was with, and remembered that he met Sakura at the Kazama household and ran there. Naruto was working on Harem no Jutsu without a kunio, with only a marker he could place on an object. Currently he was trying it with a two-tailed fox summon, having it run around the house and him flashing to the position. Jiraiya said, you are doing great, kid. Naruto said, thanks, Ero-sanin. I am glad you helped me come up with this idea. It helps to just slip that small seal paper on a moving object, and bam, it works. Jiraiya drank a little sake and said, you plan on using it on him during the test. Naruto said, yeah, but I don't know if I can beat him there. I wish I could try this in actual combat before then, but I don't know anyone beside you and Granny who's fast enough to match his SP. A fist connected to Naruto's face, and he went flying toward a tree and it broke from the force. Naruto slowly got up and saw Lee and said, what the hell was that for? Lee got into the iron fist style and said, you know what you did to her, you most unyouthful person. And he charged Naruto and attacked with a leaf whirlwind. Naruto ducked and slapped a Harem seal on Lee's back and backflipped away. Naruto stopped and said, I don't know what you are talking about. Lee said, you really are unyouthful to lie like that. She told me herself. And charged Naruto. Naruto sighed and used Harem to appear behind Lee and punch him. Lee landed and said, I see you are a master of speed. You leave me no choice. First gate, Kia. Second gate, Kia. Naruto was thinking, oh shit. Third gate, Kia, and then Lee disappeared. Naruto, not wanting to get hit, started flashing behind Lee constantly to avoid being hit. Several ninja felt the chakra from the gates opening and came running, including Tsunade, Shizen, the Hokage, Tenten, Ino who was taking a nap, and Kakashi. They all landed by Jiraiya, and the Hokage asked what's going on. Suddenly, fourth gate, Kia, and Kakashi pulled up his forehead protector and said, damn, they are moving. If I did not know better I would swear Naruto was using Harem no Jutsu. Jiraiya said, he is. That boy in green came and said something about Naruto doing something to some girl and attacked Naruto. Tenten finally had enough and screamed, damn it, Lee, I have not fucked Naruto yet, so stop. Lee and Naruto both stopped and looked at Tenten. Jiraiya started writing. Everyone else was looking at Tenten right when Guy arrived and said, Tenten, you should not go around telling everyone about your unyouthful plans. Ino, who was in front of Guy, ducked as Tenten flew over her to get to Guy and put her hands around his neck, trying to strangle him, screaming, I will show you the power of youth. Shikamaru walked in to deliver a message to Ino, saw the situation and said, troublesome women and their monthly hormones. Twitch. Twitch, twitch. Twitch, 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 twitch. Twitch, 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 twitch. Shikamaru suddenly found himself on the receiving end of 4 women beatdown. Naruto walked over with the now collapsed Lee and handed him to a still blue-in-the-face Guy. He said, I think he pulled a bunch of muscles from opening the gates. Ero-sanin 200 back-to-back is my limit. And then he fell face first into Kakashi's arms, who caught him. Everyone stopped when he collapsed, and Tsunade and Shizen started taking care of Naruto and Lee. The third sighed and said, I am getting too old for this shit. At least the paperwork's done for the day. Shizen, after forcing a soldier pill into Naruto, picked him up with Tenten and Ino help and took him inside. Tsunade finished healing Lee and said, Guy, if I find out you teach anyone else how to open those damn gates, I will implant you into the Hokage Mountain. The third walked over and said, Guy's team recovered some of your stolen property on their last mission. He then handed her the Raijin and left. Tsunade sighed and said, well, I wonder what to do with you, as she walked into the house. Jiraiya finished writing in his notepad and Kakashi said, so is that for the next in the series? Jiraiya said nope, I decided to start a new series based on Naruto and his little harem. It's going to be called Adventures of an Heir Volume 2. Volume 1 should be released tomorrow, but here you go. An advance copy. As he handed a new book to Kakashi. Kakashi giggled and left as he started to read. Yuki returned home from the academy and was going to her room when she saw the door to Naruto room open and went to see him. When she got there she saw Ino and Tenten striping Naruto out of his dirty clothes as he was semi-awake. Yuki said, "What's going on?" Ino said Tenten teammate misunderstood something and attacked Naruto. Yuki said, "Is he going to be okay?" Tenten said yes, he's just a little tired from it, so we were getting him out of these cloths so he could sleep. Yuki smiled and said, "When you're both done, can I talk to you both in my room?" After both girls put him to bed, they went to Yuki's room. Yuki was sitting at the head of her bed and both girls sat down at the foot of it. Ino said, "So what did you want to talk about?" Yuki said, "I thought about what you said, Ino, about marrying Naruto and have kids, and I like the idea, but I got a few questions that might be personal before I completely agree." Tenten said, "I also do, so I want to see if either of you know." Ino said, "Well, I hope I can answer them or any of us, so ask." Yuki said, "Why can't you have kids, Ino? Something's not right because I noticed when you were moving and you had certain hygienic products." Ino sighed and said, "I guess I might as well tell the truth to you both. I was hoping that it would not come to this, but you both have a right to know." Tenten said, "What are you talking about, Ino? I have known you for years, but you act like I don't know anything." Ino said, "The truth is me and Naruto are not exactly what we appear. We both had to make a choice and now we have to live with that choice. As far as I know, the third, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Shizen, Sakura, Guy, Asuma, Kakashi, Yamato, my parent and Kurenai are the only ones who know. This is a huge village secret. Understand?" Yuki said, "Am I allowed to hear this then?" Ino said, "I suppose for everything you done for us you do." Yuki said, "What do you mean? I have not done anything." Ino said, "Not yet at least. You see, the choice Naruto and I made allowed us to come back from almost 13 years in the future. A lot of stuff is going to go down, and a lot of people will die, so we came back to change certain events." Tenten said, "I find that hard to believe. Do you have any proof?" Ino said, "I suppose it would be best if I showed you the price Naruto and I made and then explain it so you can know it's the truth." She then shape-shifted. Her two tails appeared and her nails and teeth grew. Yuki scooted away a little and said, "What happened?" Ino changed back and said, "It all started when the Kyuubi attacked our village 12 years ago. Naruto, father the fourth Hokage, gave his life to seal Kyuubi into Naruto. The third, for Naruto protection, told all his family that's here now he died during the attack instead of the truth. Naruto grew up hated and abused. After the stuff that is going to happen happened, the Kyuubi told Naruto about a way to change everything. Kyuubi mate he sent to a different dimension after another demon nearly killed her, so she was basically frozen in time. The Kyuubi said he would give his and his mate's life to send me and him back. But in return I would become the new two-tail lord of the cats and Naruto would become the new nine-tail lord of foxes and king of demons. And before you ask, we are not evil. We are the same people we always were." Tenten said, "So both of you are demons?" "No, but what does that have to do with having kids?" Ino said, "Because of the choice, if and when we have children they would have to live in the other realm called Makia. You see, we have both become basically immortal and can have mortal children, so I have to use a demon birth control until we go to the other world in about 70 or 80 years. Yuki said, "So you need regular humans to have kids to live here for you and then we just get left behind while you live in another world?" Ino said, "No, see, Naruto found this out after we came back. When people die here they go to the other world and Naruto is basically the Hokage of a village there. He can request certain people and he wants to request all his friends and family to live here with us for eternity." Tenten said, "So when we die we go to the other place and live Aegean with all our friends and family?" Ino said, "Yes, and when any children finally die they join us as well." Tenten thought for a moment and said, "That don't sound so bad, so why go through all the trouble of trying to change things?" Ino said, "We still want to live lives and memories here and make new friends. If everyone dies in the next 12 years a lot of possible children and friends would be lost." Yuki said, "I understand. I thought you were just wanting to use us, but I see you actually care and want people to live long and happy lives." Ino smiled and said, "Yes." Tenten said, "So I guess I am still in? I admit I don't know everything about you and Naruto now, but looks like I got a long time to find out. One way or another." Yuki smiled and said, "Why not? I don't have really anything to lose but time. So what happens that you want to change?" Ino said, "Well, the first thing is the Chunin exams." And so Ino told them both about the things to come. After the depressing thing, Tenten said, "I just thought of something. You have two tails and you say Naruto is the new nine tails, so does he actually have them?" Ino laughed and said, "Yes, and they are cute." Yuki said, "Really, I want to see." Tenten, "Me too." So all three women got up and went to Naruto room. What if Naruto has harem with Hinata, Ino and Hana, And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.